What's up, guys? Welcome back to Champ and the Tramp. This episode is brought to you by Bubba Coos Burritos. Frank, how do you like Bubba Coos?
Bubba Coos is my go-to spot for lunch, sometimes dinner. You can't miss with Bubba Coos. My kids love it. Everybody in the family is down with Bubba Coos.
Check them out, Bubba Coos Burritos.
Real show, here we go. Real show, here we go. You know that it's gotta be that time, so this is what we chant. What keeps on getting them all amped in advance? Come on. You and I rocking out with Iron Man, F.E. You get the general's point of view on top of Roger's rants. We're never tapping out, we're putting the most minutes in. You already know what that's about, you know that winners win. Crush whatever's on task, check the podcast. It's the Champ and the Tramp, let the bomb blast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Champ and the Tramp. I got my man Ryan, Rose, Cafaro in the building. Ryan is a friend of mine. Been working with him since probably about 2012, maybe, something like that.
Maybe a little later, like almost like, well, I mean,
14,
we've been sparring
14.
since like 2012, but then I started working with you.
Right. But I mean, sparring, I probably met you in 2012, started probably working together a little bit later than that.
Yeah.
But now, you've been my kickboxing coach, or, one of my coaches. Caitlin, Sajara, Eddie, Tamor, Lance, Cody when they're here, numerous amount of guys. You travel the world with me, with Eddie, and a few others, so it brings a lot of knowledge. MMA fighter himself. How many fights do you have? About 20 something?
Like all amateur and pro and Muay Thai combined, like 27, 28, something like that.
So you got some experience, and thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You got it.
It's a lot of experience for a young man. You're only 32, right?
Yeah, so I feel like I drive a Prius that's like a 2004 that has a low mileage, so I feel like a low mileage car myself, but an earlier year.
He's aerodynamic because he's got no body hair.
Yeah. Do you ever? We'll just go right into it. Remember when I cornered Marlon? I was helping him get ready to fight Cejudo.
Yeah.
And then right off the I was
Chicago.
the first person. That's what I was. We were landing in Chicago, and Marlon's on the phone with Ali, and Marlon's talking to him, and he's like, bro, I'm with Ryan. No, bro, I'm not gonna ask that, bro. He goes, bro, Ali wants to know if you sleep with man. And I was like, no. He's like, bro. He says no. Bro, I'm not gonna ask. Okay, I'll talk to you later. And then we're like, what the fuck? And so then we land, and then you get there a couple days later, and I'm telling you guys the story. And then Marlon goes, bro, I also didn't want to tell you, but he also said you look like you have no hair on your body. And I was like, no, I don't. End the discussion. So.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
He's like,
that
makes me aerodynamic when I fight.
That's great.
I got like
man.
4 chest hairs. I don't know.
That's
it's
great.
Just not,
Yeah.
It's not in the books for me. So.
You're lucky, man. I wish I didn't have any. You get a lot. You got to pay for all that laser and electrolysis and all that crap. So you're saving a lot of money in your aerodynamic.
You got hair in your ears?
I don't. I mean, if I do, it's not much.
You don't cut your ear holes?
Cut them?
I
had my daughter
fucking shave them.
I had my daughter wax them. I put it on Instagram.
Really?
That was.
I've seen some nasty ear hair just sticking
just
out
sticking
there.
out.
Like, I remember there was this guy.
Kind of inevitable. Why does that work like that? You lose it off your head and it ends up in your ears.
It's so weird.
What the fuck?
Well, it
Could
also
hair
depends on where you're from.
penetrate your ear? I don't know. And can anything?
I mean,
grow out of that ear?
I got some hair in my ears.
I don't know specifically what races of men have more hair in there, but I just noticed personally I've seen a lot of Indian guys with a lot of hair coming out of their ears. So maybe you're born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. Who the fuck knows?
Maybe it's Maybelline.
I don't know.
Thank you. Come again. No.
How dare you, Frankie? I've also worked with Zaruk Adashev.
Yeah.
Man, he has the funniest Indian person impression.
Does he?
Yeah.
Does he?
And he only does it when we're getting ready to go train, or when we're getting ready to cut weight. We were on Fight Island and we were working there. And I'm like, he's sitting there cutting weight, and I'm like, all right, Zaruk, we're doing good. Let's just keep the protein high and keep everything low. He's like, okay, coach, I will have a little bit of cake. I'm like Zaruk, no cake, motherfucker. He's like, oh, coach, little cake.
Didn't they cancel the Indian guy from Simpsons?
Yeah.
They canceled
Dude,
him, right?
all right, they did. They canceled him.
You can't.
Which is bullshit. You see the guy?
Who,
he's a
Apu?
comedian.
Apu, they
got rid
canceled
of
him.
Abu. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Too
Apu.
racist. Too
Yeah.
racist.
Oh my God.
And I seen an Indian guy saying, dude, that's fucked up, because they said he he's probably had the best character arc of anybody on The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Literally, he got married, he lost his store, he got his store. You know what I mean? No one else, everyone else stayed the same. He actually had like some change in his character.
And I mean, The Simpsons to me is incredibly offensive to me because they're all yellow. So, and I'm Korean. I don't fucking.
But you're like half, bro.
Yeah, I know. But
You're only half. You're like light yellow.
That's why you don't have any body hair, because you're Korean.
Yeah, Korean from
They don't have hair, right?
Korean
Pretty
from
much?
the belly button up. Italian from the waist down.
Why is Japanese porn?
What are you, Roger's
Korean
Irish?
porn? I'm a mess. I'm like a mutt.
But hang on, Frankie. I want to hear this about.
No, why is it blurred? any Asian porn from Japan or overseas, it's all blurred. You can't see anything. Why is that?
Roger wants.
Why
to
is
see.
that?
He wants to
My-
see.
I wanna
What's
see.
the code?
My
You have
guess-
to put in a code to unblur it.
You used to have to do that. Remember back in the cable days? You had to like unscramble it.
Spice.
Yeah.
I haven't done my research, but I think it has something to do with like their culture and it being like shameful to like
So then it's
look
not
at the
porn.
genitals.
It's not
or
porn.
something.
Yeah, but they're actually doing it though, right?
Yeah.
Right. So
They're
what?
like
But you're
fucking
not
doing
watching anything.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I don't know.
it's an
All the good
interesting.
stuff is blurred.
It's an
I wonder, like, do
interesting-
they have like their Playboy magazines, like blurred pictures?
I don't
You know
know.
what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
or like if they just have like the
It must
nipple,
be a
like,
law
censored
or
out.
regulated.
Yeah,
in
it's
some
like a
way.
weird culture
Yeah.
dynamic though. But they'll show like
I
they'll
know
draw
why they do
pictures
it.
of
I'm
people.
sorry, but I know why they do it.
Why?
It's just so they don't feel ashamed.
Well, then that doesn't explain the drawing ones. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Because if they're doing, and that's the weird part, they'll blur out your genitals, but they'll show a woman getting like railed by an octopus or some shit. I'm like, then where do we draw
Do
the
they
line?
really show that?
No, not like literally. I mean, like for like weird like hentai cartoon drawings.
Oh,
and shit.
like anime.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, stuff like that. So,
Hentai? What'd you call it?
is that what it's called?
I don't know. You just said it. I'm asking you.
No, it's called hentai. I was-
Okay. I never heard of it.
You ever seen that
But
chick?
hentai is that only
That is
sexual?
the genre of anime.
sex anime.
Yeah, from what I've been told by
It's
friends
called
and
hentai?
weirdos. Hentai.
Hentai.
I think. I don't.
And is that Chinese or is that Korean? Or is it across both?
I think it's primarily Japanese.
Oh, I didn't say Japanese, did I?
Yeah.
I meant to say Japanese.
Look at you, just not seeing race. You just see them all as one.
Yes, I do.
Look, good for you.
So that's the hentai is what? Animated porn?
Anime.
I think
porn.
so.
Anime,
Yeah.
right?
He knows. He got it. He knows.
What is it? What is it when they dress up like as furries and shit?
That's furries.
That's furries.
Yeah.
That's a Saturday
Well, that's
night for old
cosplay.
Frankie,
That's
right?
cosplay, right? Cosplay, I guess, is what it is.
Well, I guess. But I don't know. I mean, the furries are crazy. Like, literally, my kid, I'll say it. Fuck it. My kid, he
Don't
got,
tell me
well,
he's a furry.
no, he had to get, we had to pick him up from school because he wore plaid pants,
Right.
plaid flannel pants
Plants.
Whoa.
pants to school. We had to pick them up because they're not allowed to wear pajamas. But there's kids that wear fucking collars on my kid's bus and they bark at my kid and shit
Really?
because they're dogs. Like,
I miss
crazy.
bullying.
Yeah, bring
I miss
bullying
bullying.
back.
I
Bring
mean,
it back.
there's like
Listen, I don't care who you are. Every kid got bullied. Like there's very small percentage of kids that never got bullied at all. When I was a freshman, there was a kid that was a senior. He was a big kid, and he was just fucking. He gave me a hard time. You know,
I got
everybody
antiqued.
gets it. You just deal with it. You
I
know
got
what I mean?
antiqued my freshman year.
You did?
What does that mean?
Yeah.
What was that?
Antiquing is
caking
when
or whatever they call
they
it.
threw this kid named Tim Breswick. I still would punch him in the face to this day. Threw water on me and then threw flour on me.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like
It's also
baking
called
flour.
caking, isn't it?
Tim
Yeah,
Bresnick?
caking.
Tim Bresnick?
Breswick.
Breswick?
Yeah.
You're
Come and get
fucking
it, Breswick.
dead, bro.
Come
You're
and get it.
dead.
I looked at a picture of him on Facebook once. He wears a suit. I'm like, good, go fuck yourself. So I'm like, I'm sure the corporate world is working well for you while I'm out here doing cool shit with cool people.
He's...
Anyways, but yeah, like, and I feel like because of me getting antiqued, it probably helped me sculpt who I am today. So
true.
I'm almost thankful for getting
Yeah,
antiqued.
I think
because-
it's part of growing up. You can't avoid it. You can't. No kid can go through life and not get bullied at all. Like
Yeah.
someone's gonna give you a hard time at some
Yeah.
point. Frankie, as badass as you are, there had to be somebody when you were younger that gave you a hard time. There had to be.
absolutely.
You know what I mean? There definitely was a couple kids in high school that gave me a hard time, and I was a little scared of them. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't acting all fucking hard and tough. I was, I don't want to fight them, but
how big were you in high school?
I wasn't as a freshman. I was a little guy. They called me Little Roger until I was, fucking like a.
Yeah, but that's not because of his height.
That's what the girls called me. That's what the girls called
Not
me.
because of his height.
No, I was as a freshman. I might have been. I'm 6'4" now. I might have been like 5'10", 5'11", maybe
Yeah, that's
160 pounds. I was not big at all.
bro. I'm 5'8", 160 now.
Yeah.
So you're not making me feel good about myself.
No, but like junior year, I just shot up. So
Oh,
then I
okay.
was just a beanpole.
Yeah.
You know, so
Beanpole, that's what they called you?
I was a beanpole. Yeah, yep.
I thought for a second, I thought you said mean bull. I was like, look at you with the Philly lingo. But I'm glad you said mean bull.
No, beanpole.
Why, that's Philly Langle, mean bull?
Like, oh yeah, he's a mean bull. Like, what's up, bull? Like
That's Philly lingo.
B-U-L, bull.
Like B-U-L-L, you mean?
Yeah, but like, you know, this is just based on like how, like, oh, you better watch a young bull, shit like that.
Young bull, I heard that.
Yeah,
mean
so-
bull. I don't
So
know.
interesting story there. You were born and raised in New Jersey, but moved to Philly for tax purposes.
Yeah.
That's that. All right, talk
Yeah.
us through that.
I grew up in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and then I wanted to buy a house, and then just based on the taxes in New Jersey, I was like, I'm fucking out of here. I can't afford to do that.
Yeah, but what's
So-
the bridge toll? What do you pay every day in bridge tolls?
$5.
$5, and you did it daily. What's that add up to over the course of a year?
We can do the math real quick. So if it's what?
Well,
Let's-
five times.
Five
Say
both
300.
ways.
Say 300.
5 both ways. 5 each way.
It's about $120 a month. If you went what?
But you're- are you
$30
paying-
a week.
What bridge are you going over first?
Ben
of all?
Frank, $5 over the bridge.
$5 one way. Like
Yeah, but you don't have to pay.
like you
for
go
it
over the
each way.
Verrazano, you only pay one way, right?
Right. Yeah. Ben Frank is one way, so you pay about $30 a week. So it's about $120.
Not everybody
a month,
goes both ways.
and you pay, let's say, about $1,200 a year going over the bridge if you went over 6 times a week.
Okay. So
Then-
yeah, you're saving money still. I guess. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
taxes in Philly, like my house originally, my taxes were like $1,200 for the year. So
Yeah, but the
if-
Verrazano bridge is what? Like
that's like
13,
$20.
14, 18? 18?
oh
Yeah.
no, that's not the what's the other one? That's like 20 something.
GW.
No, not the GW.
GW is probably like 18
I
too.
thought the Verrazano bridge was like $20.
Yeah, I thought the Verrazano was
I've
too.
been to
You
New
sure it's
York,
not?
like-
What's the one?
With the discount, it's 18.
Yeah, all right, maybe.
Oh,
But that's stupid. Crazy
Yeah.
money.
miss me with that.
You know.
So yeah, let's get to it. Like for real, was this slap real or not?
I was going to bring that up. I think it was staged. I think those guys are professional actors. There's actually a video of Will Smith slapping a little kid, just showing he's showing like a movie role, and it looks pretty real. It's a little kid, and he's like showing you how to play a role, how to play a character. And I mean, they're professional actors, bro. I don't know,
Dude,
man. I'm not buying it.
again, who knows what's real, what's not on fucking social media, but there's a picture saying that if you look at it through an 8K quality picture, you could see a pad on fucking Chris Rock's face. First off, if you put a pad on
Right.
to fucking to cushion that little bitch slap,
Right.
Like,
Right.
I have some questions for you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Where's your commitment to the art?
I don't know.
Just
all
take
about that,
that.
but-
Just take a slap,
don't
make it
think
look
that's true?
real.
No, I mean, if you're just asking me, I think it was staged. I think it was fake. I think it was,
Okay, listen,
Isn't the Oscars? Isn't there ratings like in the toilet?
Yeah, and it was up 53%
right,
this year.
Right. So,
But anyway, like I definitely think the way it was all set up definitely seemed staged, all that. But then you seen Denzel Washington went up to him and like consoled him and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that staged too?
Denzel's one of the greatest actors of all time, bro.
but he's
Come on.
like, he's like a religious dude.
I'll tell you what though, when Will Smith was doing his like acceptance speech or whatever, and then like crying, he's like, "Yo, my man Denzel, gave me some wise words about they come for you when you're at your
Yeah,
highest."
yeah.
I've never seen a face that said, "I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed," more than Denzel's face.
Really?
He looked so disappointed. Well, he's just
So,
looking at him like,
have there? Not that I think there should be, but just if it was you, if I slapped you in public, right, I'd be facing charges. There's definitely security
No,
there.
bro,
There's
no.
You don't think so?
No, fuck no.
You
bro.
don't think so?
No. That was not a fucking press charges slap, and that's what drives me nuts. People are like, oh, they should. How come they're not press charges?
No,
Like, dude,
no. I'm saying, doesn't the state pick it up
No,
and say that?
no, you have to. I'm pretty sure the person has to press charges on you.
I bet Colby would have pressed charges.
Well, yeah, that's for sure.
But I mean, my opinion on it is it's just
So you can literally walk up to anybody in front of a cop and slap them, and as long as that person doesn't press charges, you're good.
Pretty sure.
I feel like the
I
cop
didn't-
has to
I
like
didn't think it
grab
worked
you.
like that.
I feel like the cop
I
can
thought
grab you
they
and then
see
say
it,
something.
they witness it. That's an assault. They're gonna put
Is
you
the
in
cop
cuffs.
going to press charges on him?
The state picks it up. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
state.
I don't know. I think if any state fucking picks up charges for a little bitch slap, that's crazy to me.
I agree with you, but I'm not saying that it's. I totally agree with you. I think it's crazy, stupid, and nothing should happen. But I'm saying, if I did that, would I catch a charge immediately?
Nah.
Would you? If you
I mean,
did
I
that,
don't know. Yeah,
It probably
I don't know.
depends
I don't
state to
know.
state.
right?
It's
Yeah.
rules are weird,
Yeah.
especially involving stuff like that. You
Unless the cops
I mean,
are in
not-
on it
dude,
too,
like
and
the
they're
guy's
like,
laughing afterwards.
Right.
Come on, no
yeah,
way.
Yeah, I don't
I mean, it also could just be Will is just a broken man at this point, and maybe that was the straw that broke the camel's
That's
back.
what I'm saying.
Jada had
He's
just-
like, take my name, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Ooh, that
but
made
you
me-
can keep the box in there.
Right.
Yeah.
You can keep her box in your mouth, but not her name. You know what I mean? Like that's what that's what I like. Yo, she humiliated him, right? Pretty much saying she fucked all these dudes and did all this, and he just sat there and said nothing. So you're not gonna stick up for yourself now, but then you're gonna stick up for your wife. That's what doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah, well,
Totally.
I guess he
But
can't
then-
slap Jada, so.
Jada had just done an interview prior to that where she said, "Doesn't bother me. I don't care. People talk about my bald head." Right? She battled on alopecia, correctly?
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
But she did an interview where she's like, "I don't care," and he's a comedian. If anybody can get away with it, he should.
Also-
That's why I think it's staged.
You're in front row at an award show. What the fuck did you sign up for?
Yeah.
Right.
Like you
and
know
that's
a
his
comedian-
job. His job is to fuck with the people in the crowd.
And that's where I feel like in terms of comedy, if like where we draw the line, like if you draw a line in comedy, period, like people make jokes about 9/11 and the Holocaust, and people make jokes about this, that, and the third.
There should be no line in comedy.
I don't think there should be, and that's what you should sign up for, because it's like people are like, that joke is offensive. It's like, well, that's the point.
That's the biggest peeve to me. People that pay money and go to a comedy show to laugh and then get offended and attack or heckle. What? You should sit home. You should not be there. They're there to deliver humor. It might not be your type of humor, but just sit down, shut up, don't say anything. Their next joke might be your type of humor. You know what I mean?
My only requirement for something like that is as long as it's clever. You know what I mean? Like I've seen some comedian, I forget, it was some.
Well,
but
if it's not clever,
yeah, I know.
you get booed.
I know, but I'm saying I believe, not, I'm sure not every comedian, but most comedians, the intention is to be clever and to be funny, but they're gonna miss sometimes. It's tough. That's tough to fucking be on all the time.
Yeah, but like I saw this one, it was some white comedian guy, and he was making jokes with his friend, and they weren't even clever. They're just saying like, "Oh, look at this fucking chink" or whatever, and like that just, I was like, that's not funny.
Well, he's not a comedian then.
Yeah,
He's just a
and
guy.
I remember he got
he's just
like
a guy
he's
trying too hard.
Yeah.
He's not a comedian.
He was trying to be rough around the edges. It's like, oh, you're edgy. So that bothered me, you know. But also, you know,
you know where comedians seem to push the line the most is at the roasts.
Yeah,
the shit that gets said at roast.
But that's almost like you're you know, that's what you're there for.
That's what you signed up for.
Right.
And like, you know, they're ruthless, dude.
When they roasted Flavor
Patrice
Flav, I
O'Neal.
was like,
no, when they
shit.
got after Patrice O'Neal. Like, dude, like, he was literally dying, and they were fucking making fun of him dying. Like, that's crazy.
Did you ever see Hannibal Buress roast Justin Bieber? No. They like edited some of the shit out he said about Justin Bieber, and it wasn't even that bad. He was just like, he's like, a lot of people say that you roast the ones you love, but I don't really like you at all. I just felt like this was a really good opportunity for me, and I honestly hope that people see through this facade to make you appear more likable. And they just fucking cut that shit out from Comedy Central. I was like, oh,
that's not even that bad, really.
I know, but they were like, that's a little too close to home.
What's the guy? He's on SNL. I can't think of his name. He's with Kim Kardashian now.
Oh, Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson. He's a pretty funny guy, but they roasted him, and they were like, "Oh, Pete, something about Pete Davidson. Welcome to the roast. Your dad got roasted at 9/11 already, or something." I was like, "Oh my god, bro!"
His dad died 9/11.
His dad died 9/11, and he laughed at it. I mean, listen. If you're a comedian, you gotta laugh, bro, because you're pushing that limit constantly.
He's made jokes about it himself.
He does
on his own stand-up.
But I mean, that's rough,
one way to deal with trauma is by making fun of it.
Yeah, no, I think he's dealt with some emotional issues. Did you see the text between him and Kanye?
Yeah.
He was saying, "Listen, man, I know you're dealing with some
Were those
stuff.
real?
I don't know. I think so. I don't know. I have no idea."
He's like, "Who's this? I'm in bed with your wife."
I'm like, get the
but then he was really nice after. It was like,
I know.
It's like, how can you say that and then be like, "Listen, man, come talk to me. We'll work it out. This is crazy. This doesn't have to be all public." But you just said I'm in bed with your wife, bro. Like, that's crazy.
If my name was Pete and someone called me Skeet, I would probably piss
that
me
dude
off.
has smashed every hot chick in Hollywood. They say he's got
celebrity
like a
Rain Man.
12-inch cock on him. They say.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. That's just their excuse.
I don't know, man.
Maybe.
I mean, he's slayed everybody in Hollywood, bro.
Maybe he's got a great personality.
Yeah, they say he does. They say he does. I don't know, man.
I mean,
yes, if it was real, back to the what. Chris Rock did handle it well, though. If it was real.
If it was real. I don't think personally it was real. Do you think it was real?
Nah.
I don't think so.
I just feel like if it was Dave Chappelle, Dave would have roasted him on the spot. Would have kept going.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Until Will got up and went to punch him, and then somebody went and intervened. But he was just like,
You slapped me in the face. Like,
I don't know.
Yeah, I
don't
get
watch
it.
anymore. They always seem to get political up there. Just accept your award, be grateful.
well, I mean, but that's unfortunately what life is now.
Yeah.
It's all political. So
Yeah.
it seems like you try to. I mean, 10 years ago, people were like, "Who'd you vote for?" It's like, mind your fucking business.
Right,
and then
right,
nowadays, it's like, I can't believe you voted for him because of what he did.
I saw your Biden sticker on your Prius.
Dude, don't you fucking.
That's why he got a Prius, because he knew the fucking gas prices were going up.
Yeah. I made a good little TikTok making fun of. I was like, "Oh, what's up with your gas prices all low?" And I made like a suck emoji and just kept replaying over and over. That was a good one. But no, I did not vote for Biden. But I also didn't vote for Trump either. So because I feel like all politics are corrupt, all taxation is theft.
I'm cool. I'm cool with that.
That's
I'm
where
down,
I am with
I'm
that.
down with that.
Yeah.
But I do think you got to pick the lesser of two evils. Oftentimes you have to do that. So
Right.
so
But this,
unfortunate
to me,
how
like
politics
these
work.
past couple elections, to me have like again, I don't follow everything, because it just seems like every president, regardless of if you look back on, they've all committed some sort of atrocity against humanity. Like I'm pretty sure Obama sent drone strikes against children, and I'm sure Trump has done God knows what, according to my family and stuff like that. But I don't keep track of it. But the point is that if you go back to like that South Park
Your
episode
family,
when they were
where South Korea, North Korea, where?
no, my family in
North Korea.
South Jersey, not South Korea, South Jersey. But
He said North Korea.
very politically correct podcast.
Yeah.
But
You guys are
remember
fucking
that South Park
refugees.
episode where they're trying to vote for the mascot of the town, and one of them's like a turd sandwich, and the other one's like a douche salad or something. I feel like that's every
I
election.
do often wonder that with a lot of elections. Like, these are our best two people. Like, how does
No,
that?
it's because who wants to be? You got to be.
No, it's because it's corrupt as fuck.
Thank
That's
you.
why.
That's what I think.
That's
it
how
is.
they
I
even
just
get in
think
there.
it's all become
No,
you
but who
scratch
would
my
want
back,
to be
I scratch.
president though? Like you got to be a special person to even want that job. Like and not special in a good way.
Yeah.
It
seems-
like you have to be narcissist. You have to be. I mean,
No,
and you have
that's the new way of being president. That's not the old way of being president. There used to be some integrity in it and pride in it, and there used to be, you used
I know,
to
but
strive
still, okay,
for the
back then,
best for your country. Now it's just an
I
attack
know, but
fest
even
on
back
each
then,
other.
even back then when fucking Babe Ruth was playing, he was making more than the fucking president. Like you want to be the president, you got a baseball player making more money than you, and you have all this fucking stress. You got to run this country with pride or whatever. Anyway, you really want to do that? Who wants to do that?
Because a lot of these people already made their money doing something else, and they're
It's afterwards they make their money.
some, yeah.
Or if you go through like the conspiracy theories out of that, they're making that Rockefeller money.
Yeah.
Or they
Dude,
make so
isn't
much
that
money
true?
you
I don't know if
know
this is
how
a
much.
conspiracy theory. Supposedly I said this a couple times. Every president is related to each other. Supposedly, even like Obama supposedly related to Bush, and Bush is related to fucking
Walk me through that.
Roosevelt.
Frank.
I haven't
How's
done
that-
my
how's
research on that.
happen?
No,
at
through family lines. What do you mean? How is that? How the fuck are you related to your cousin, bro? I gotta explain that to you.
I can prove it. How are you going to prove
I'm
to
not
me
saying
that
I said I
George
heard this.
Bush is related to Obama? Go ahead. Where are they tied together?
You think through like
How?
6 degrees of separation sort of thing? Like
that.
everyone's related
That's
to
what I
somebody?
say. Yeah, that's what I say.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, Roger lost his virginity to his cousin. You know?
That is also true, but I can prove that I'm related to my cousin. I can walk you through a family tree. I'm saying you said all presidents are related.
No,
Can that be
I
proven?
Said, no, I said. Listen, what did I just say? It's probably a conspiracy theory, but I heard it. I wonder if it's true. That's what I'm saying. And I heard that Trump wasn't not part of that family tree at all.
Is that something against redheads? He booted the redhead out?
You mean? Oh, yeah, I guess orange.
I was gonna say, what the fuck color hair is he have?
Strawberry blonde.
Yeah.
Yeah, strawberry blonde.
Tremendous hair.
Yeah, that wasn't bad, actually.
I looked more like De Niro. They're like, yeah, these shoes.
So all right. In Brazil, I didn't get there yet. We were both cornering Marlon in Brazil. And what was that? Fortaleza?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was my first time cornering in the UFC, and Marlon asked me to corner him in his fucking main event fight against Rafael Assunção. Like, that was like when Marlon was on his hot streak, and then he got the title shot right after that fight. But, so
That's when he first came over from Bellator, right?
it was, no,
it
he
was
came
a
from
couple after.
PFL.
PFL, correct.
Sorry. Yeah,
At the time, it was called
World Series fighting.
There you
Yes,
go, World
yeah,
Series.
yeah.
And he had maybe 2 fights in the UFC at this point.
Okay.
Maybe 3, because he fought Assunção, and he lost by decision, which was bullshit. I think one of the judges scored at 30-27 for Assunção. And
That was in Brazil also, right?
no, I think that was in America. Or I could be wrong. Yeah, I have no
I think
clue,
it was in
actually.
Brazil.
But then after that, he beat Sterling and Jimmy Rivera
Yep.
and John Dodson. Not in that order. But then he got a rematch with Assunção, and then that's when I got to corner him for the first
Was
time.
Assunção his very first fight in the UFC?
Yes.
Which he lost, right?
Yeah.
By decision, which was I thought was bullshit.
Right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was Brazil because
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I remember, fighting back home for him, first time back home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, so Marlon's like, can you corner me in Brazil? And I was like, fuck yeah. So we go to Fortaleza, Brazil, and and we get there, and Marlon's like, show me, all the cool stuff. And he's like, oh, bro, we'll go down to the fish market. It's a good time, bro, and all this stuff. So we start walking. And then we see these people having like an altercation. Marlon's like, oh, look, bro, it's a street fight. And we're like laughing. And then the laughing turns to screaming really quickly because it's a guy and a girl. And the guy's trying to run. And she looks like she's punching him. But she's holding his shirt and she's fucking stabbing him with a knife. Oh. Yeah. And this dude falls to the ground on his back. And this woman, I swear to God, this happened, stands over him, Aztec ritual, like knife in the chest. And like,
damn, your ex gets around, bro.
Yeah.
This fucking guy. He loves to, I sit down here, fucking eyes forward, don't say shit. And this guy loves to fucking stir the pot, bro. Loves to stir the pot.
Oh, man. So
Hey, how do you know what ex? We got quite a few exes, bro.
I was going to say, I didn't want to say. Anyways. But so she fucking stabs him, and everyone like screams like bloody murder.
Was that a Toro Gotti?
I don't know, but I literally watched bloody murder, and then Marlon just looks at me and goes, let's go back to the hotel, bro. I was like, yeah, that sounds good.
We don't need fish today.
Yeah. So we go back into the hotel, and then there's this girl named Bella, and she works for the UFC. She's like one of the behind-the-scenes coordination people, and she sees me in the elevator wearing a Marlon shirt, and she's like, oh, you must be from Team Marlon. I'm Bella, and I'm sitting there like, yeah, I'm Ryan. She's like, oh, how are you liking Brazil so far? And I was like, well, I just saw someone get stabbed outside, so that was cool. And she like laughed, and I was like, and she was like, oh, you're serious? I was like, yeah. All right, bye.
Is that other people just walking normally by, or is that like an everyday thing, or is the
know.
entire crowd
So-
like holding their faces like, oh my God,
But, like,
call 911?
yeah,
Well, I guess there probably is no 911.
But Marlon said,
on.
yeah. Marlon said it was the first time he's ever seen that ever in Brazil. He was like, he told me himself, he was like, I'm like embarrassed that this happened like in my home country and all this stuff. For your first time here and you see a stabbing in 2 hours. But then, so Bella alerts the UFC security. UFC security alerts Brazilian government, and they like quadruple police force in the area. They bring in like SWAT and all these other people to make sure that the area is safe. And then they're like coming up asking me questions. They're like, what happened? And Marlon's like, bro, like, don't say anything. He's like, oh, it was fine, bro. He got like stabbed a little and he ran away. And I'm like,
no big deal.
I'm sitting there like, that's pretty much what happened. Yeah, sure. And then throughout the week, all the like the Brazilian like big up like fighters are coming through, like Damian Maia, and then the Nogueira brothers are coming, and then people are talking to I forget which Nogueira brother, but they're like, oh, Nogueira, good to see you. Did you see all these like police here? And they were like, yeah, what happened? I heard some gringo pussy like called the police. And I'm like, oh
shit.
my God. And they're like, no, I heard it was Marlon's gringo pussy. And I'm like, oh my God. And so then like Marlon had to like de-escalate the situation and like introduce me to Nogueira. I was like, oh, here's the gringo pussy. Yeah.
You go by many
Yeah.
names.
And he comes up to me and I'm like, oh, nice to meet you. He's like, oh, you have to be careful with Brazilian women, bro. They'll cut it off. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Yeah, and so then, like, if I saw anyone try to talk to me on the street in Fortaleza, they're like, saying stuff in Portuguese. I'm like, English. And they're like, my friend. And I'm like, no, you're not. And just walked away.
Speaking of Brazilian women, Claudia Galia,
Yeah.
smoke show, smoking hot. We got to get her on the show. Which way does she go? I don't know. Does anybody know?
I think she just goes whatever way the
I
wind
never
takes her.
see dudes on her page. I never see girls on her page. It's a little bit of a mystery there.
I think Claudia likes Claudia.
Yeah?
Yeah. Whatever she's into. So
You took the road.
She's,
You took the high road on that one.
I mean, I mind I'm a coach. I mind my fucking business. You know what I mean?
I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, if she goes the other way, I'm not going to shoot my shot, but
I mean, I think she's
do you
probably
mean the
swung
other
both
way?
ways.
she likes girls.
You're not gonna shoot your shot?
I'm joking. I'm not going to shoot my shot anyway, but I'm just saying. Like,
That'll be a quick shot anyway.
it would be a quick shot. I always wondered because, like, I never see her with a dude. I never see her with a girl. I never see her with anybody.
Well, that's probably why we get along so well. I have no hair on my body. Somewhat androgynous, according to Mark Henry. It goes well. He's like, bro, you look like you're like a guy / girl. My wife wears face masks, and so do you.
You're a face man?
Yeah, for the
What?
the
Do you?
moisturizing.
What?
I do it on the fight week trips. Helps me stay centered.
Like
So,
on the plane, you wear it?
no, like in the hotel room. There was one time where
How does Mark Henry know that?
because Mark Henry walked into my room and he's like, "Oh, bro, do you have every?" And I was sitting there with a book. I was reading a book, and then I was like, "Yeah, I think you just got
With the little eye holes cut
Yep.
out?
And he's looking. He's like, bro, what is this? And he like takes a picture of it, and he's like, "Oh, my wife wears these, bro." And he's like sending it to all his guy friends and stuff. It was a good, You had a good little laugh, and then I take care of my body. I'm like doing stretch. He's like, bro, he's doing yoga. My wife does yoga. I'm like,
That's funny, man.
good for your wife. I do yoga too. I feel great.
As Mark's eating his Pop Rocks.
Yes, Pop Rocks or he's a big Outback Steakhouse guy when we.
Oh, the Bloomin' Onion?
Yeah, something
I
like
gotta
that.
get the
Whatever
Bloomin'
he
Onion.
orders.
Outback Steakhouse.
Or he'd order from like
That Bloomin'
we
Onion's
go to Vegas
pretty
and I'm
damn
like,
good.
there's how many restaurants can you order from in Vegas and get it delivered?
9,000.
A lot of amazing opportunities. And he's like, oh yeah, I got Outback Steakhouse. I'm like,
No, Outback.
something
In and Out maybe.
something generic. Something generic when he was getting, 2 Caesar salads with extra chicken, stuff like that.
So, man, you juggle both, obviously. You fight still. Your last fight was last year, right? 2021 was your last
My
fight?
last MMA fight was October of 2021, and then I fought my second pro Muay Thai fight earlier this year in January. I got offered an opportunity to go fly out to California and fight in Union City, California, so I fought Muay Thai there, but then I fought MMA in October in Maryland.
Is that hard to do, both? I
Yes.
mean, obviously, you can't push that pace forever. Your coaching's going to be your longevity, right? You're going to stay in coaching. But,
Yeah.
I mean, how do you do it? How do you balance both?
So for a while I didn't, and I went on a losing streak. So there was a point where in my career I was 6-2, and I was just beating guys. Like on a streak at one point I beat a guy who was 2-0, 3-0, and then like 14-5, and then I went after a guy that was like 25-8 or something like that. This guy Scott Heckman, he was like a regional, animal, real tough guy. I lost a decision to him, but like I was just going after and just knocking down killer after killer after killer. And then I feel like at the same time was when I started coaching as well, and then it became difficult to try to balance both because you spend so much time focusing on guys like Frankie and guys like Marlon, Paul Felder, and they have such, high standard for performance, so a lot of my focus goes into focusing on their camps, and then before I know it, I'm not focusing on my own camp.
Right.
And I'm going through the motions in terms of training somebody, and you're like, oh, I'm getting in shape because I'm sparring this guy getting in shape. It's like, yeah, but you're not focusing on what's making your game good.
Right.
I'm imitating an Aljamain Sterling, or I'm imitating whoever the guy's fighting, and I'm not developing my style. And then there came a point where I had lost, I think it was out of 4 fights, I lost like 3. And it wasn't going well, and I lost like like 2 major title fights at the time, and I was just sort of bummed because I was like, what is going on here? And like, is this all I have to show for? It's just my elbows are sore from holding pads, and I'm not getting anywhere in my own fighting career, and I'm helping all these guys get to their goal, and I want to get to the UFC, and I'm not in the UFC, and I was depressed, and I didn't want to fight anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then the pandemic hit out of nowhere.
That helped your depression out a lot, I'm sure.
Believe it or not, it was the best thing to happen to my
Really?
MMA career. The absolute best, because I would have issues in fights where I would come out guns blazing in the first round, always. And then I would have issues where, like, as soon as my opponent started putting up a fight, I'd have like, oh man, I'm like, he's putting up a fight, I'm gonna lose, like, in my own brain, and have like this downward spiral. Like I would just quicksand in my own brain.
Self-doubt.
Yeah. And so, Frankie's big into, being, mentally unbreakable and stuff. And I just always had a hard time developing that. But the pandemic gave me a time to like just completely rest. Like for a month, I did nothing. Like, and my girlfriend Shannon, she bought one of the Rogue bikes in the basement, and she was like, oh, I have this thing we can work out in the basement. I'm like, get that thing the fuck away from me. Like, I'm not working out. I'm not doing anything. But then when the quote-unquote 2-week pandemic or whatever turned into
2 years.
Yeah, or whatever, we had to start working out. So I had heard of one workout, which me and Shannon, we called it the Khabib circuit, which is you do 30 seconds. Huh?
I've been doing that circuit before Khabib was around.
All right, so it's the Frankie circuit.
It's the AK.
Yeah,
AK.
the AK Airdyne bike circuit or whatever. So it's 30 seconds on the bike, and then 30 seconds of another exercise. Push-ups, sit-ups, ground and pound.
It's a minute. It's a minute.
Oh, minute?
Yeah.
Well, we did 30-30, but it works out that way. So we would do it for 30-30 for a half hour straight, nonstop with no rest.
That's
Oh,
cra-
no
that's
breaks
crazy.
in between.
That's crazy. Though.
no
Damn,
breaks,
dude.
no breaks.
Minute. So the way we do it, we do a minute. We do, but 30 seconds at like a certain level, then 30 seconds at,
Right.
and then same thing. Like 30. Say we're doing pad work, 30 seconds at that, and 30 seconds that, hold.
Right. So
No
we
break.
would do
30 minutes?
half hour
minutes,
straight
yeah,
nonstop.
bro.
So we would do like, you get on the bike and you get about 10 seconds to get up to speed, and then
Yeah,
you
then
rev
you
the
go,
fuck
yeah,
after
yeah.
for 20 seconds, and then you switch. So like that got me in. I was doing it. We had no other place to work out. Every gym was closed. So me and Shannon were doing it 4 to 5 times a week. So I got in some of the best shape of my life in my basement.
Man.
And it helped create like a mental fortitude of like, I can push myself by myself all the time as hard as fuck whenever. And then when gyms did open up, I was training with people and I was just dogging people, and they're like, why are you in such good shape? And it's like, because I was doing this circuit. But more importantly, it just helps you overcome that mental barrier of like, I'm breaking. Good. Keep going.
Right.
I'm breaking. Continue to go. It doesn't matter. You will not fucking die. And there was some sort of switch that something clicked in my head that was like, I won't die in these exchanges, in these goes, in fights where it matters the most, where like my body just wants to give out. And then instead, I'm just like, bite down on your mouth guard and fucking get after it. And
Usman talked about that when we had him on. He said, he used to have self-doubt and he used to get tired. And he said, then I found myself in wrestling practice and stuff, and I'd push myself as hard as I possibly could to get as tired as I possibly could, as quick as I could, and everything after that was extra credit.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it definitely helped. And then after that happened, and then and then the other issue with the pandemic was I got so busy coaching. I was coaching, a couple people here and there, and then I would get to coach like Marlon, and that was huge to me. Or like, I get to work with Frankie for a big fight. Like when you fought Holloway, I got to help you prepare for the Holloway fight. That was huge to me. But then when the pandemic hit, the only fights that were available were for UFC fighters. Everything on the regional circuit ground to a halt.
Right.
And that's when I started working with like Sarge and Caitlin and Claudia and Bill Algio like full time. And I just started revving it up with those guys. And then I almost became like exclusively a UFC coach.
Now, where were you coaching? You were
Wherever I had
Nick?
to.
Nick's?
Yeah.
Nick's,
So
okay.
but at the beginning of it, we were coaching in Claudia's house. She had a gym in her garage in Jersey. So I would drive up there and work with Sarge, Caitlin, and Claudia. And that was it. And then I became like the captain of the girls team sort of thing, which Mark loves to, girl team, bro. Girl team, all the girls over here, you're one of the girls, bro. No hair on your body, bro. So, yeah. So that's how, and then I roll with it. And then, then we started calling ourselves Farsky's Angels because I'm Cafaro, and then we were just old Farsky. And then we had then we did like the Charlie's Angel pose after one of the fights.
You did not do it.
You never saw this?
No.
Oh, man, it's bad. It's me, Sarge, and Caitlin after one of her fights, and we did like the pose and shit. And like, Caitlin's like, look at that hip hop, like how you're doing that shit. And then one of the times we got Mark in the
You're
photo.
going to be selling pictures of your feet on the internet soon.
I'm working on that. But one of the times we got Mark in the photo, and he was smiling, and he literally wrestled the phone out of Sarge's hand to like delete it from her phone. And he was like, "Oh, I had a game plan. I knew you were going to be strong, but I had the height, so I like, pulled the phone out of your hand." And we're like, "Bro, it's not that serious. No one's going to make." But it's the point of that is that it became the opportunities for me opened up as a coach there in the pandemic for that. So then I spent so much time around such high-level athletes and high-level fighters that I was like, and I'm still hanging with everybody and doing just fine. And I was like, you know what? With my new training regimen and the things that I'm doing to help myself become mentally tougher, because that's the big thing now is that I still do the workout, not as much, but I might not even be as good a shape as I was in the pandemic, but things have clicked mentally now.
Sure.
And since that, I've hit the ground running. And then the 2 times that I've fought since the pandemic originally hit, I've had 2 really, really good performances. And it was cool because the one in July of last year, it was high pressure too. And I felt like I froze in high pressure situations. What's higher pressure than having Frankie, Renee, Eddie, Chris Ligori, all my idols front row, and Sajara in my corner?
Right,
you know what I mean? There's nothing higher pressure than that. And I've fought a kid named Hassan Abdullah. I had trained with him before. He had gotten the better of me in sparring. I was terrified to fight him. I didn't want to fight him. I was like, I'll just fight anybody else. And Eddie's like, dude, just fucking take the fight. And I fought him, and we just banged it out for 3 rounds. And it was scary, and I was getting tagged, and I was tagging him back. And you remember, it was a good fight.
Great fight.
Yeah. Funny thing about that is I'm in the zone, and Sarge and Malik, who are my cornermen, are real quiet. Sarge I could hear, but Malik is super quiet for the most part. Like, I hear him subconsciously, like he tells me to do things and I do it, but I never actually hear him say it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Have you had moments like that with Mark?
Yeah, for sure.
Like Mark yells a code at you, you don't remember him saying it, but then your body fires it.
Yeah.
I have moments like that. But while we're mugging each other, me and Hassan, we're mugging each other, and I just hear Eddie going, Rye, Rye. And I look over, and Eddie's like, right off the bat, give me a low 48. And I look at him, I'm like, yeah, you got it, motherfucker. And I go back to looking at Hassan, I was like, what the fuck is a low 48?
You don't know.
Yeah.
Eddie don't know.
So I was like, gotta be calf kick. I gotta try a calf kick. So as soon as we go out, I smack him with a calf kick. Eddie goes, beautiful, low 48. I'm like, yeah, boy. I'm like, 1 for 1. I'm winning this fight. Fuck yeah. So
Now, you were out in Vegas when Frankie was coaching Tough House, right?
I was there for... No, I was there for Eddie's
yeah.
one.
Eddie's.
Yeah,
okay,
and that's
okay.
how I met Sajara Eubanks.
Oh, right. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I read something about you taught her a head kick. You taught her, you kind of worked, not taught her, worked on the head kick with her, and that was her only head kick ever was at the house, right?
Yeah,
where she
we
knocked
linked
her-
up. I started helping her cut weight and holding pads and stuff like that, and we just worked on a left high kick. I like a left high kick, and I had actually fought that Saturday, flew to Vegas on Sunday, and then cornered all week.
Nice.
And she fought her teammate Deanna Bennett, and I yelled for a high kick, and she went and threw a high kick and won by knockout.
Nice.
And it was it was pretty crazy. And then like that's like her first knockout of her career with a left head kick, and then it's been a pretty cool experience. And then me and Sarge are like, we're like thick as thieves right now, because like I corner her and she corners me for my fights
Right
too.
on. She's awesome. She's
Yeah,
a great
yeah.
fighter. She's got a bright future.
Yeah, and I mean she's so well versed in the jiu-jitsu game. She's a 7-time world champion gi jiu-jitsu.
I love her story too. Obviously, we had her on the podcast. Fat kid.
Yeah,
Fat kid, and Corey Anderson, another one. And just worked harder, outworked everybody, and look at him now, man. You know what I mean?
She's also a great inspiration in my life for being like, she's very blunt with me. Like when and then she also changed my jiu-jitsu, because I was training with her at the PI, and then our other guy, Sean Shorty Rock Santella, corners her. Like me and Shorty corner Sarge with Mark. And then we were rolling after training Sarge, and she's watching my jiu-jitsu, and she's like, oh, I didn't know you didn't know how to grapple. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, your jiu-jitsu is like all scrambly. Like you don't know what you're doing. And I was like, oh, thanks. Okay. So then I was like, fuck. Well, then I guess I got to work on my jiu-jitsu. And then she helped me develop like a crushing top game. And then my last fight in October in Maryland, I won with a topside guillotine, like Sean Brady style.
Nice.
And it all came from working like 4 things, being heavy as fuck from top. Because normally I would like get in a position and be like cartwheel, backflip.
Brady's a Philly guy. You trained with him at all?
Yeah.
Great
So
dude.
we came up on the local circuit together. We fought on cards together. We actually went to Boston twice to train at like Mark Delagrati School together. If you ever asked Sean about that, we were driving the old Prius up there.
Nice.
And he was on the phone with his girl, Kristen, his fiance, and they're talking. And he's like, "Yeah, Ryan's driving," and I like wasn't paying attention, and I just side scraped the barrier. Like, yeah, I like scraped into the cement barrier.
I still like that.
I mean, this is a different Prius, but
That one's like it too.
yeah,
Then
I totaled that
He
one.
upgraded.
But yeah, so I like scraped into it, and Sean's like, "Yep, all right, babe. Well, I'm gonna drive, so I'll talk to you later." He hung up. He's like, "What the fuck, bro?" And I was like, "Oh, my bad." And I had like scraped the side of the wall.
oh, dude.
Yeah.
He was a hype train coming into the UFC, and he's held it. I mean,
he's living up to it.
He's living up to the hype, man.
Yeah.
Is he
Doing
coming
great.
up soon? Or no.
No, he just got nose surgery.
Yep,
That's right.
I saw
That's
that. I
right.
forgot. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
I ever tell you I guillotined him once in practice?
Oh shit.
Just once and only once. We were training, and he just took me down, and I caught his neck, and I don't think he took it seriously. I didn't expect him to, and I squeezed it and I tapped him. And he got up and he like announced, he's like, "Yo." He's like, "Cafaro just tapped me with a guillotine."
He didn't pull your head off yet.
No, he tried to right after that.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh,
That dude's
fuck."
got a
And then he
squeeze
proceeded
on
to
him,
try
bro.
to rip my fucking head off. And then all of a sudden I have like something wrong in my neck. I have like a pinched nerve, and I can't train for like a month. And I'm like, well, that was well worth it. So, but Sean's a good guy.
Yeah,
And,
he's a
like,
great dude.
Yeah,
Great dude.
I've held pads for him before, and he's just, I don't get, he overtrains, and his body has adapted to overtraining. Trains like 5 fucking times a day.
You would think with when your fight career, you're risking injury, right? You're constantly risking injury, and you're potentially putting yourself out of coaching to get.
Yeah.
You actually your injury came from coaching with Eddie, right? Eddie took your knee out.
Yeah. I was
It's usually
training.
the opposite. Usually, the fighter gets hurt, not
Right.
the coach, but work
I
backwards.
was
for you.
training, and I just tore my ACL, so I'm out for a bit.
Oh shit,
So,
man.
but it's part of the game. You get what you sign up for.
That's
so,
it, man.
I'll be fine. I'll do some I'll drink some bone broth and do some
There you
push-ups.
go.
I'll be all
There
right.
you
We're
go.
not delivering flowers, bro.
Yeah,
That's one of my dad's got. My dad would always bitch about the vans being fucking. Yo, don't quit fucking my vans up. And one of my dad's workers, like, we're not delivering flowers, Frank.
Was that the same guy that gave you advice
Yes,
on marriage?
yes.
Bro, that guy should write a book.
Yo,
he should write a book,
Bubba.
or at least a couple of Hallmark cards.
He said.
There's some
He
wise.
said, don't get married, kid. Buy your pussy and eat in diners. Fucking should have listened.
No, I
save a lot of money, kid.
I should have listened. You're doing
No,
all right.
I'm doing all right.
There's always some interesting guy that's like, don't get married, bro. Don't get married. I do great. I'm like, what do you do? He's like, oh, I sell drugs and buy hookers. I'm like, yeah, it seems to be going well for you, champ. Here's
You're not married, I guess.
No, not yet.
No.
So
Engaged?
not yet.
Shit, I just fucking blew it for you. Bro.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I know, right? It's nothing that I haven't been hearing every fucking wedding I've been going to for the past
Now, how long you guys been together?
8 years.
Wow, bro.
8 years.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's a good girl to stay with you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a good guy. I'm a catch. What do you? It's going. You know.
Is she pressuring you?
No, but everyone else is.
Yeah.
Everyone else, and like people at every wedding, it's like, you're next. I'm like, fucking relax, lady, or or it's just like, mind your fucking business. Like, we have a good thing going. Will we get married? Yeah. Will we get engaged? Yeah. When we're fucking ready. When we feel like we've built our financial empire and
you
all
say
that
we.
shit.
You say we. You don't got a mouse in your pocket. Is she saying we too?
Oh yeah.
No, I'm saying like she's willing to wait, or she's trying to push it.
Oh.
So,
I don't know.
She's not saying we. She's like now.
Good question.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe I'll text her and just be like, "You ready to get married?" I'm sure that'll go over real well. I was just checking. Not today.
You're not today.
Not today. Soon. Just want to keep you on your toes, sweetheart. Yeah, I'm sure that'll go over real well.
Aren't you? If you're together long enough, don't they consider you like civilly joined or
Yeah.
something? What's that
Isn't it
called?
like 10 years or something like
no,
that?
It's got a name. I'm
It
drawing
is
a
called
blank.
something.
Andrew, you got it? No, that's what
no.
I
It's
said, but
like,
it's not civil union.
Something about living together for a long time.
Yeah.
How do they determine that? Like, is it you buy the house,
Taxes, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know.
or do they check like your Instagram when you guys started dating? Like,
What?
The domestic partnership. Yeah,
Maybe,
something like
yeah.
that.
Something like
Yeah,
that.
that
I
would
still
not-
don't think that's it. I
No,
think it's
it's
got a
something
different
else.
name. Yeah.
I was gonna say that would not go over well. This is my domestic partner. She'd be like, "I'll punch you in the fucking face." She was also a Muay Thai fighter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got her into it.
She's got some fights under her belt?
Yeah.
Really?
She has I think like 6 or 7 fights.
What is it? Oh, is that what it's called? Okay.
Frankie's seen her hit pad. She's got better technique than I do.
No shit.
Yeah, she's an animal.
What's her mainstay? What's she do for a living?
She is a nurse.
Nurse, okay.
Yep.
She can fix you up when you get her injured then.
She tries. Yeah. I mean, she definitely could, but you know what I mean. I'm like, leave me alone. I'm fine. I got it.
So what's next for you? Another fight?
Well, heal my leg.
No. Sorry. Common law marriage.
Common law marriage. That's it.
Common law
Yeah.
marriage.
I couldn't think of that. Yep.
7 years. When you've
When you
lived
said
together for 7 years.
I was like, I know that number
Yeah.
is definitely
So,
represents
have
something.
you lived together for 8 years?
We've had our house together since 2018.
Ah, you're good, bro.
3 more years, and
Yeah.
then I should,
Common law marriage.
yeah. No, man, this is my common law wife.
It's your common law Prius?
Yeah, that'll go over well.
It's the common law scrape.
It sounds like something my common law wife and I will go churn butter now in our fucking
Crush grapes.
We don't use electricity on Thursdays.
It sounds a little Amish.
It sounds almost Orthodox Jewish or whatever that is. What is that? Which Jewish is it that you can't use electricity on like Fridays or whatever?
It's Jews.
No,
Jewish.
I think that's Orthodox.
Orthodox or
and-
Hasidic or
and
Syriac.
Hasidic,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's fundamental Jews probably do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I've heard of that. Because like she was telling me stories about working in the hospital, and there were like Orthodox Jews that would be like, like get my son off like
Can't-
life support or
can't
whatever, and get him out
drive.
of here because he can't use electricity on Fridays. I'm like, homie, you need to be a Southpaw Jew if that's the fucking case. Like,
Oh, Southpaw one?
I'm joking. Orthodox Southpaw.
Oh, I got you.
What is it? Can't drive, can't touch electronics,
No,
and can't touch money, right?
I don't know. I know they can't drive, they can't do electricity.
Yeah,
I thought
like-
just anything that's
Guy was
not
like-
their body,
yeah.
right?
I I'm not sure.
Like, you ever see the Amish people? They can't even use they can't use bicycles because it's mechanical, but they all have the scooters. Which I don't get that.
Where do you
have
draw
a
the
fucking
line?
wheel
Yeah.
with a fucking bearing on it. That's mechanical.
Yeah.
You can go on a scooter, but you can't ride a fucking bike.
I didn't know that.
It
So-
makes no sense,
So
right?
you draw the line at gears.
Yeah.
Wheels are cool, but cogs and gears.
They can ride in a car, just somebody has to drive them, right?
Jews? No, I don't think so.
No. The
Amish?
I don't
Because they
know.
deliver sheds all over the place and furniture.
No,
and
no.
usually they get somebody to drive them.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They're
They're
getting the
built-
laugh. They're
They
getting
do the best woodwork for
yeah,
sure.
and they're getting the last laugh now with these gas prices.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. That is
They don't
true.
really go far.
I don't think so.
Well, wherever they're
Lancaster.
it's
Lancaster, PA, right? That's
going. Yeah,
where
there's a lot
Amish-
of Amish people out there.
Mm-hmm.
They make amazing pies.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you ever just get
I
like
feel like they make amazing
anything
everything.
bakery, pastry related most Amish food is pretty solid.
You know, like what is it when they're 16? They go do that. They're allowed to go out and just party for a year or something like that, and they decide if they want to come back to the religion or if they want to stay out and be. Most of them come back.
Literally leave the community for a year. Where do they go?
I believe a year. I don't know exactly how long
16,
it is.
you got no money. Where are you
I
going?
don't know if it's 16 or 18. I'm just saying. I'm
Like, do you
I
have
know
like
this
I'm
happens. I don't know
asking.
exactly.
I don't know either. I'm asking.
I'm saying I don't know what age, but yeah, I don't know how long it is. But they go out and they fucking wow out.
do you have to
and-
like is it mandatory? Do you have to exercise your right to party? Or
That
is
I
it
don't
like-
know. That I don't know.
Do they still live in the? You don't know. Do they still live in the
That-
community, or you don't know?
I don't know, but I think they just bounce.
Yeah.
I'm
Wasn't
kinda curious
there a show on TV? It was like a reality
Kingpin,
show.
no Kingpin. Remember
No,
Kingpin?
that's a movie.
I know,
That's a-
but
yeah,
like that's
yeah,
kind of like that a little
But
bit.
there was a reality show where they sneak out, like they some I don't know, some organization that helps them out, people that want it, like kids that want to leave the Amish community, and they like jump out the window in the middle of the night and they run out to the road and they jump in the back of a truck and they drive them off. It was like a reality show for a little bit.
It was real?
Something Amish, leaving Amish or something like that.
I know
Oh,
what you're
here,
talking
check it
about.
out. For Amish youth, the Rumspringa, whatever that is.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Normally begins around the ages of 14 to 16 and ends when a youth chooses either to be baptized in the Amish church or leave the community.
There you go.
So at that age, you're like, listen, bud, you're in or you're out.
But
Either
they
you're
don't.
one
They
of the
don't
Amish
actually
or-
leave. They're still there. They make a
I don't
decision when they
know.
want to leave.
No, but I think
I would say
I think-
99% are going to stay, because what the hell are you going to do at 14 without the support of your people and your parents and your community? You're going to stay.
That would be a good
right?
reality show.
Till you're
Just like
older. There
following,
is. This-
following the
this-
Amish for like
Look that
a
up.
year.
The Amish reality show. I think it was called Leaving
Do
Amish.
you,
or
do you
something
know
like
there's
that.
the Amish Mafia?
Yeah, I heard there was.
I remember we were staying at like
What did they shoot you
Fuck
with
are
a
those guys peddling?
spitball gun?
no Camelback, like the Camelback, like the something at the water park.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we were checking in. They're like, yeah, the Amish Mafia's here. I'm like, they're gonna fucking worry? You know, the fucking Amish Mafia. What are they gonna do? Fucking churn some butter and shit? What are we gonna worry about here?
Bake you a pie you can't refuse? What the fuck?
Breaking
Breaking
Amish.
Amish,
That's it,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, like Breaking Bad, but
Yeah. It was
Yeah, I
a
think they were part of that show.
bunch of youths that
Bunch
wanted
of
to
Utes, the two Utes.
excom-
The two youths.
excommunicate their their ties to their community, but there was an agency, there was some organization that would get them out. You know what I mean? But I think they got all ties were severed. That'd be a tough life to live, to leave everything you know and your family and your parents and be completely excommunicated and start over. That's a big risk, you know.
but then you get a phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Oh my God.
True.
It's a fucking light. Holy shit, I can see.
Yeah, I'll send you a text that way. You don't have a phone, you fucking nerd.
True.
But I
true.
mean, it kind of goes like if you go to that question, like people are always randomly posting, like, would you give up your phone for $1 million? And it's like these guys never had one; they're doing just fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
but I think
I'm
you don't
sure
miss
goes-
it until if you
Right.
had it, then you miss it.
But then
For
the
$1
longer
million,
you have,
I'd give up my phone for $1 million. How long? For the rest of my life? Not for the rest of my life, but
there you go. So
I would give it up for a year. I'd
Yeah.
give it up for 2 years, but I ain't giving it up for the rest of my life.
right for the rest of your life. So
Yeah.
$1 million?
No, not for $1 million.
I mean, for $1 million
I'm
based
like-
on.
What am I going to look at when I'm jerking off in the shower? I'm not going to
Your
look at.
fucking imagination.
Yeah, I
bro.
was gonna say, or you're gonna have to go buy some magazines in Chinatown. Some of
Yeah,
the-
yeah, and they'll be
some-
blurred out. They'll be blurred out.
Take them to Staples and get them laminated.
For real though, kids got it like so different.
I wouldn't
It's
want to be a
fucking
kid.
wild.
We talked about it. I would
No.
not want to be a kid. There's too much technology. I would
Yeah.
not want to be a kid today.
Absolutely
I
not.
wouldn't.
And it's gossip. How quickly it can spread now.
Yeah.
Like, I remember like if somebody made fun of you in high school, they heard about it that day, and it might get around in a week or two or something. Like for example, I pulled an anthrax prank in 8th grade. This is we'll get back to that in a second. But like nowadays, if you talk some shit, or if somebody says like, "Oh, blah blah has a small dick," or a loose butthole, then all of a sudden on social media, all over the place in 1 second.
Yeah.
That's not really correlated.
Right.
If a girl
A
gets
small
labeled,
dick
if a
and
girl,
a loose butthole.
I don't.
That's
I'm not trying to correlate. I'm throwing stuff at the wall and hoping it sticks.
if a girl, young girl, teen girl, whatever, gets labeled like a slut, that shit travels like wildfire.
Exactly.
She gets shamed, and the next thing you know, she's depressed, pulling her hair out.
Right.
Sitting
And
at home,
then
having
she kills
suicidal
herself,
thoughts.
and then all of a
Right,
sudden
right.
everyone's going RIP in the comments.
It's crazy.
And
Yeah.
it's like,
the same people that
fuck
harassed
that.
her saying
exactly.
that.
It's like, I don't want to be a part of that. Fuck no.
Yeah. It's crazy how that works, the hypocrisy in that. I had a friend that OD'd on heroin, right? And
Yeah.
I used to ride with him a lot, and I went to the funeral, obviously, and I looked around, and there's all these people crying and shit. And I'm like, fuck, half you fuckers were doing drugs with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Lose one of your own, I guess.
Yeah.
It's fucking. I mean, it's sad either way, but it's just like, hopefully, in situations like that, it becomes a catalyst for people to be like, all right, I'm done with this shit.
Maybe it was. I don't know. But
And I mean, some of those people probably went and lit up that night.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or shot up, whatever you want to call
I
it.
don't even think they think like that in that moment.
Well, I mean, it alters.
Right.
I mean,
They're just thinking about the next high. They're
No,
not
but
thinking about
I would hear
dying.
comments they would make like, "Oh, he was so young, you didn't have to leave." I'm like,
Motherfucker,
you were shooting up with him like 2 days ago. You know what I mean?
Well, it's difficult when that shit alters your brain chemistry, and you just try to, do the
Make
mental
sense of it,
gymnastics
yeah.
to make sense of all of it, and still try to maintain some sense of humanity, I guess. But yeah, I pulled an anthrax prank back.
Okay, now how the fuck you
Was
not
that
get,
after the anthrax threat? Because that was in Jersey.
Oh yeah.
With that post up, was that after that? Because anthrax was like like a hot topic back then.
It was like during Hot Topic.
Oh,
that
man.
area, it was like in like 7th grade or some shit. I just woke up one morning.
That was a post office in New Jersey that happened at, right?
Yep.
He 7th grade. You were
I
probably
was 40. I beat him to his punchline.
But I heard about it on the news. My parents were like, "Oh, anthrax, blah blah," and then I just woke up one morning like, you know what? I'm gonna throw some powdered sugar in a sandwich bag and sprinkle it in the
Oh
bathroom.
my God.
No, I to this day, if you were like, "What the fuck did you?" I don't know. I just woke up and chose violence.
How old?
I was in 7th grade, so I must have been like
7th grade.
12, 13.
Wow.
And I just walked into a bathroom.
How do they
and-
know you did it?
Well, and it goes
He
back to
fucking he put it on his Facebook.
I sprinkled it on a couple of the urinals, and then I hear somebody walk in, and I hit in one of the.
Someone said the
stalls.
kid with no body hair did it. Like, Ryan, get in here.
Well, back in that day, nobody in 7th grade had body hair. I don't know what the fuck they're putting in the meat these days or the milk these days, but 7th graders are, they look like grown women and grown men. I'm like, what the
I
fuck?
know.
Then the men look like the grown women. That's the scariest part.
But so I hear these two kids go, "What is that powder?" "Oh, it's anthrax," and they leave. And then I quickly jetted out of the bathroom.
Listen, when I'm 7th grade, I see you dumping powder around. The first thing I would come out of my mind would not be anthrax.
Right.
Right? It's not be
But-
anthrax.
But there was a high alert kick
Because
going on
everyone
at that time.
had been talking
It
about
was.
anthrax at the time.
Yep.
So then I quickly bounce out of the bathroom, and then all of a sudden I'm walking in the hall later, and there's like SWAT teams with chemical masks
Get
and
out.
everything. Oh yeah, they were not fucking playing.
But they
And-
let you fucking frolic in it? You know what I'm saying?
Well, they didn't know.
They got the guys with masks. Like, oh, there's the fucking 7th
Yeah.
graders running around in the anthrax.
So they were trying to figure out what the fuck it was, I guess. And me being in 7th grade, I told one person, I was like, "Yeah, I sprinkled it in the bathroom."
yeah.
And then that person
Ratted
told
you out.
somebody. And then before I knew it, somebody went up to me and was like, "I know what you did." And I was like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah,
And
but
then
that was way before cameras. You could have denied that shit. They didn't
Right.
know, right?
but word was getting around fast.
Right.
And I didn't know any better, and I was
You
in
owned it.
7th grade,
You
and
owned it.
I told my parents, and I was like, "I did this," and my mom was like, "Oh my fucking god!" So then
Oh, shit.
they were like, "We got to turn you in. We gotta, because if they catch you first, you're fucked. You're gonna get expelled straight up." So my parents brought me in, turned me in, and they suspended me for like a week, and they were like, they were just giving me reasons of like, what are you gonna say as to why you did it? And I was like, "Oh, because I had like a fucking." I had no idea what to say. I was like, because I just felt like doing a prank. They're like, "They're gonna fucking expel you for that. So we need to come up with something." And I can't even remember what it was. It might have been like, "Oh, I just, I've been bullied and I felt like I needed to act out," or some shit like that. And they bought it and suspended me for a week. And yeah, so I've
Way to think on your feet there.
I had to do something. So
He touched me inappropriately, so I put anthrax all over the bathroom.
yeah, so we went with something, and I got suspended for a week, and that was the end of it. So
Yo, change the subject. Nelk Boys. They got that Happy Dad seltzer just came out, bro. That shit. My buddy drives for Shore Point. And I mean, they got like 50 trucks or something. He said, actually, it wasn't Shore Point. It was their I guess Shore Point doesn't carry it. Their competitor does.
Yeah.
Said that they sent out every truck today loaded to the gills with Happy Dad fucking seltzer, and there was people waiting at the liquor stores for it to get delivered. Like that shit is.
Is it good?
I don't know.
Is that like a new flavored vodka?
It's like High Noon,
I'm
right?
dying to try it.
So, okay, the Nelk Boy. What's that?
It's real vodka.
Like High Noon.
Yeah.
Okay, Nelk Boys. Are they related to Barstool at all or no? Totally different people.
Different people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
The Nelk Boys, that guy Bob Menery.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
they had they just had
On this week.
they had Trump on,
Yeah.
and what
They had Trump, yeah.
was it on for what, a half hour? They got banned.
No, it was up for like a few hours.
Yeah, they had 500,000 or 5 million views.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
They had Colby on, didn't he?
Today.
I heard, and I heard they were like, yeah, I think you got your ass whooped by. It was
Well, no,
right?
they had Colby on, but they were with Colby the night it happened, right?
Yeah.
They were with him at the steakhouse. They were with him that night.
Oh, the night that he got cracked.
They
got
were with him.
sucker
There's
punched.
a rumor that one of the guys, I forget his name. I don't really follow the Nelk Boys, although I like what they do. One of the guys on the show was giving him a hard time when he was on the show prior. And
Giving Colby a hard time.
Colby a hard time, and there's a rumor going around that he tipped Masvidal off, that they were there, and Masvidal showed up. Because Colby gave him, Colby barks back, and he was giving this guy, like he said, about the Usman fight. I think the guy said, "Yo,
I thought you got your ass whooped.
I thought you got your ass whooped from beginning to end in that fight
Yeah.
or whatever," and he fired back like Colby does or whatever.
Yeah.
And the rumor is that guy, whatever his name is, texted Masvidal, we're at this location,
Wow.
and Masvidal showed up.
Like, what can he say that would get you that offended that you're like, you know what? Come sucker punch this dude for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and, like Colby's rhetoric is not clever. It's you fucking soy boy. What'd you vote for, Sleepy Joe? I'm like, oh wow, super original, bro.
Well,
No, but
normally,
some of the stuff he said.
Oh yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
crossed
he
the
goes
lines.
after family.
Yeah,
He goes
yeah.
after.
normally I would say, look, like obviously the fight happened already. You
Yeah.
know, Colby definitely won.
You're talking
That
about
was
Colby and Jorge now.
Colby and Jorge. Obviously, he dominated. He did his thing. These are two professional fighters. You get it done. But Masvidal, you got to remember, that dude was a street fighter way before he took it professional.
He was on the Kimbo undercards.
Yeah, man. He's
on
a
YouTube.
street brawler. So it's not really that surprising that
Yeah.
he met him out. You know,
What's your definition of on site?
what is my definition on
Like,
when
'cause he's
you see somebody, no matter where it is, I don't care
Right.
if you're in a church or you're where you're at, it's going down right
Do
there.
you feel like Masvidal's attack on Colby, would you qualify that as on site because he knew where he was
No, I
when
think
after?
that's premeditated.
Yeah, because that's not on site to
No,
me.
that's
On site is
premeditated.
I see you, I'm hitting you.
Right.
Not I'm gonna find out where you're
Like
eating
I think
dinner.
there's a possibility they would. Miami's not that big. They would eventually, at some point, maybe years later,
Right.
run into each other somewhere.Ey're both fighters.
Yeah.
But that happened 2 weeks, 3 weeks after
Yeah,
the
there's
fight.
also a good chance
You
that
mean,
they
how
might
long ago did
never
they
see
fight?
each other.
Huh?
How long ago was their fight?
A couple months, not
Was it a
No,
couple months?
It was
Month,
like
month.
2 weeks later, and then he punched him or something
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
that.
it wasn't months, I don't think. But
I
weeks.
ran up on somebody once.
Oh
I didn't
god,
get him.
is this a joke?
No, I swear to God.
Oh really?
Yeah.
The fighter?
I got jumped. This is like high school. I got jumped at a party, and I found out one of the kids.
Wait, sexually jumped? Like a bunch of dudes.
Come on, bro. Come on. Listen, this guy. You weren't there, so you know.
Okay.
Anyway, I got
You got
jumped by
jumped.
these guys. The hell, man, I didn't get beat up or nothing really bad. You know, it was actually at Renee's house. Fight broke out, and I'm in the corner. I didn't get hit, but I cracked some kids. Fought. My buddy came in, hit someone. They all followed. He ran out. They all followed him, and it was over. But I was like pissed. I felt like a 3-on-1. I'm like, I'm gonna get this motherfucker back. I found out where this guy worked. He worked at Pathmark, and I found out his schedule, so I was hiding in the parking lot. Me and a couple dudes hiding in the parking lot. And I was waiting for he's getting off work. He's walking to his car, and I started trucking, bro. I was gonna clean this dude. And my boy's like, motherfucker, and he see me and boom, took off.
Really?
And I didn't get him. But then we fought like a month later, probably.
got him?
I got him. It was a good fight, yeah.
That's cool that you waited for him in the parking lot instead of like whooping his ass in the milk aisle, because that would have been.
You said it was
Well, I was
it was a
trying
good fight, so the kid could scrap then?
No, dude, honestly, want to know the truth? Okay, I was partying all night. I took ecstasy and acid. Candy flipped. It's called candy flipping. I candy flipped that night, and I was didn't sleep at all. I'm at Kurt's house. We get a call in the morning saying, yo, Blase at my house. He wants to fight Frankie. And I slept like an hour. He's like, bro, he's over there. You want to fight him? I'm like, all right. I'm like, all right. We get in the car. We drive over there. it's just me and Kurt and the whole house full of kids. And we all knew each other.
Right.
And I started fighting this kid. And he was a pretty big kid. He had big hands too. So I was picking him up, slamming him a couple times, picking him up, slamming him. I'm dying. I'm like fucking out of shape, tired. Because probably I was like hungover and didn't sleep. And I'm like, fuck, I'm getting tired. And I was on top of him, and he was grabbing my hands, like my wrists. So I couldn't hit him. Like I couldn't punch him because he was like,
physically strong.
holding my hands. So then I was like, whack. I started headbutting him. Whack, whack. And then my hands started getting free. And then I'm starting to fucking hit him. And then some dude cleans me off him. Was like, you're fighting me next. You're fighting me next. He gave me a Pharaoh. He was trying to give me a Pharaoh and didn't jump me. Right. And I'm like, I was so tired. I'm like, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I never fucking came back. I thought I got a concussion from headbutting him because I was throwing up after the fight because I was so out of shape. I was throwing up from being out of shape. I'm like, fuck, I got a concussion. Oh my God. But it's because I was so tired.
Yeah, that's great, man.
Yeah.
What age would that have been, roughly?
I was probably 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
15, 16, something like that.
So you were headbutting motherfuckers at 15.
Oh, yeah.
That's
That's my
just
trademark.
I feel like that was
my
a thing
trademark.
back in the day. People really don't do it now, you know? You don't hear
Yeah.
headbutts much anymore. It used
Yeah.
to be a thing.
Now they just shoot you.
Yeah, they do.
Well,
Everybody's tough now because they'll just fucking
Yeah.
pull out a gun
not
or a knife
really.
or something.
You get in a fight out in Tom's River, you'd be all right, bro. Right?
Maybe
Not in
I mean,
Philly.
not in the
Philly,
summertime.
no,
Not in the
of course not.
summertime.
Well, Seaside maybe.
Yeah, you get all the influx of people. Maybe the locals. I
Yeah.
feel like the locals around here are all
In
tough guys.
Philly
but-
at night, we play a game. Is it fireworks or gunshots? And it's usually gunshots. But
Really?
it's been since the pandemic hit. It's been bad. Like
What's that area Eddie hails from?
Kensington.
That is,
Yeah.
bro. I see videos. Like I knew he said
Yeah.
he was from Kensington. He's like, it's rough. You know, he was on the podcast. He's like, it's a rough area. And then I swear,
Yeah.
phones hear you. Videos of like, I think they call them Kensington zombies.
Yeah.
The drug addicts and
Yep.
stuff. These guys are like,
Doing the dope fiend lean.
their back looks like it's snapped in half. I don't know how they do
Yeah.
it, but
Yeah, Kensington
Kensington's
Bikram Yoga. It's fucking-
it's a bad, it's a bad area. I
Yeah.
guess. Like
I
really
live
bad.
I live a mile from there now.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's like my street is cool,
Yeah.
but you can hear the gunshots from down
No
there.
shit.
Or like occasionally, I remember once there was some woman with a fucking just swinging a litter box at like 1 a.m. on her street, going, "I'll fight any of you motherfuckers." And I was just like, "All right, I'm staying in bed."
You gotta get
Litter
some
box.
rounds. You can get some rounds. You got some rounds.
I mean, there was one guy. I come out of my house to go. I'm loading groceries back into my house, and there's this guy, and his car's right next to mine. He's pacing around. He's going, "Someone hit my fucking girl, fucking motherfucker!" And he looks at me, goes, "What the fuck you looking at?" And I was like, "Hey, I'm just getting my groceries, dude." I was like, "Yeah, my car's right next to yours." And he's like, "Oh, all right. Someone hit my fucking girl," and he's like, fucking tweaking about someone punching his girl, I guess. And I was like, "That's on you, dude. I'm not fighting you for free. I'm grabbing my groceries." And
You think
going
you
back
could
in
have
my
taken
house.
him?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ever? You seem like
I think I can beat up like what percentage of the population do you think is trained in a fight?
Oh, I don't know. I'm
Very
bad at
small.
that,
I
but
feel
not
like
a
I
lot.
could beat probably like 90. I think I could beat like 93% of the population in a fight. Maybe more.
a lot of people think they can fight, but
Yeah.
most people aren't professionally
No.
trained.
And
Not
like
even-
Have you?
not
Do you have any like street fights? Like
Yeah.
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 Got any
I
good
had-
stories?
I had a good college fight where I went to it was my friend Adam was drinking and somebody like pushed his girlfriend like down 2 stairs and she fell, and then he was like flipping out that like someone shoved his girl down a flight of steps. It was like 2 steps or something like that. And then as like the kid is getting thrown out of the house, Adam says something like, "That's why you're a bitch," and the dude turned around and hit him. And then I'm sitting there with we're all drinking, and I'm like, yo, break it up. And then someone just hits me. And I was like, all right. So I put my beer down, and I just smacked him with an overhand. And then I like doubled him into the refrigerator. And then we just started like swinging off in there. And then everything got broken up. That was a good one. And then, and then I had like one in high school where my buddy Tom that I grew up with on the wrestling team, he was like the king instigator, where he would just go back and forth. Like he'd be like, if you two were in a room, he'd be like, "Oh, Roger, Frankie said you get no pussy." And then he'd be like, "Oh, Roger, Frankie said he'd fuck you up." And then like, "Oh, Frankie, Roger said
Instigator,
that."
yeah.
And like he was so good at it that people would be like, "All right, fight me then, motherfucker," and like not him. And it got to a point between me and this kid Andrew where he would like always say this shit as we were like walking by each other in the lunchroom, where he'd be like, "Oh, how's Andrew's property doing?" Like talking about me or vice versa. And then you'd like puff your chest like, "No, I'm not anybody's property." And then it's like, "All right, well then," and then all of a sudden we got into it. And it's like, "All right, well then let's fight." And then it was like, "All right, fine." when? And then it was like 4 o'clock Thursday after school. And it was like, all right, fine. And then all of a sudden, everyone in school knew, yo, Ryan and Andrew are fighting on Thursday at 4 o'clock in this park. And my English teacher at the time, who's my wrestling coach, Tom, Mr. DePatri, he's like, he starts reprimanding us, and he's like, I can't believe that, this is not how we represent Cherry Hill West Wrestling. This is despicable. If I hear a word about this fight, and then as soon as the other teachers leave, he goes, all right, make sure you hit the double, all right? Get him down to the ground. Use your top control. Don't let him do it. You know what I mean? Get a little, sneak a couple in behind the ear. You know what I mean? Do what you got to do. It was good. And then, so then I'm like, maybe a couple people will show up. And then this group of guys picks me up in a car to drive me to the fight. And we get there, and there's like 50 people waiting to see me and this kid Andrew fight in the middle of like a park. And I was like, oh, shit. So this was like my first like official fight. So like, and I remember that song One Blood was playing in the car. So that was like my first walkout song. I was like, oh, shit. I was like, it's going down. Like, the song was getting me pumped. I was like, oh, this is going to be good. I'm going to fuck this kid up. And then, so we went out there and we just started like swinging, and I like picked him up. He was bigger than me, and I like picked him up and slammed him, and I just started learning jiu-jitsu, and I like put him in a rear naked choke, and they're like, no choking, none of that, just straight boxing. Like some kid like walked up and like kicked me in the back and was like, who kicked him, and like walked away. And then we kept fighting, and we just kept swinging off on each other, and I kept hitting him. He was bleeding out of his ear, and we punched ourselves out, and we just couldn't hit each other anymore. We were just too tired. Nobody went down. He was too big. I didn't hit hard enough at the time, I guess. And then like they were like, all right, time. Nobody's
Never an issue for Frankie. If they're too big, he always goes down.
Yeah. So, oh wait, was that a gay joke?
Well, I put a lot of effort into that.
I was gonna
one.
say
Come
that
on.
was
Come
kind
on.
of clever. I just feel like Frankie's just
See,
not.
I used two different words there,
Yeah.
and I worked off both of them.
That was clever.
Nobody got that.
Do you rap battle?
I missed
I
that
feel
one.
like you'd be good at rap battling. They would have got that if you had.
Speaking of headbutts, I just remembered I got headbutted. I was at a frat house. My two buddies, Jason and James Harmon, back in Maine. They had a frat house, and they would have a party like every weekend, and it would just be mayhem.
Mm-hmm.
They had a picnic table in their living room because they were so poor. That's all they could afford. They had a wooden picnic table in the middle of the living room. But
Poor, it's college, bro. No one's
Yeah.
fucking got money in college.
Exactly. But anyway, I remember I was there. It was a crazy party going on, and a fight broke out. I remember the place had a fireplace in it for some reason, and there was one of our guys. I didn't know him well, but he was on our side. Was fighting these guys from like out of town or whatever. And it was going down. It was a pretty good fight, and I'm watching it, and I'm yelling for whoever, Chris, come on, fuck him up, whatever. And the guy behind me, standing on the picnic table, was friends with the other guy, and he was cheering him on. So I turned around and said something, whatever, shut the fuck up, whatever I said. And, fight's still going on. I turned back around. Then he says something. I turned back. Bro, he jumped off the picnic table and headbutted me in the face, and it put my teeth right through my fucking lip.
Ooh.
I never went to the hospital, nothing. The next day, I went skiing the whole day on.
But wait a minute. You just missed. You skipped the fucking whole part. What did you do after he headbutt you in the teeth?
No, we got, me and the kid got into it, but by that time the cops were like running into somebody called the cops. There was already a fight going on for 5 minutes prior.
So he got you with a headbutt.
Oh, bro, he got me.
Scot-free.
I didn't. He
That
didn't get
sucks.
scot-free. We got into it, but
Oh.
I didn't get him. Bro, I was bleeding profusely, and but I turned around. I just ate. I mean, he just fucking jumped off the table and nailed me. But anyway, we were scheduled to go to Sugarloaf Mountain the next day to go skiing, and I was like, fuck it, I'm not going to bail, I'm going to go. Bro, that cold wind hitting that for the whole day was the most painful thing ever, bro. But I never got it actually healed good. I don't really have a scar or anything, but
What the thing is with like mouth cuts, they heal way faster. I think they said it's like because it's like always wet or like it's in the inside of your mouth. It just the inside of your mouth heals faster than other parts
Rogers
of
is
your
a
body.
little extra wet.
no, I mean, inside my lip looked way worse than outside. I just had like a little hole in the outside, but the inside was fucking huge gash. But it
It
was
healed
just,
in like a day or two, right?
Who would go skiing the next day? I went, and that cold means cold, so it just sucked. It was the next day was horrible, but I went.
What was you ever get like any like nasty in your mouth cuts like in your fights?
My last fight, I fucking had to get stitches in my tongue.
Oh,
That was
Yeah,
miserable,
bit your
bro.
tongue, right?
That
Yeah.
fucking miserable.
How do you do that with a mouthpiece?
I got a fat fucking tongue, bro.
I know, but
It's only a top mouthpiece.
so it was on the bottom
Yeah.
side.
we gotta get you the
Dude, dead up. Even like yesterday, or the other day, I was grappling with fucking Mark, and we're doing chokes. I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck, bro, I'm biting my tongue. Like,
I wanna get you
my
the-
tongue's too big for my mouth. For real.
Oh,
I
if
want to get
anybody
you the
knows,
mouth
it's
guard
me,
that
pal.
I have.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I have that. Me and Mark have that like hybrid top bottom mouth guard where it's
Yeah.
not. completely a top bottom where you can't fucking breathe at all, but it has it locked in the back, so it molds to your molars, so this way it doesn't turn your jaw, but this way you can still breathe through the front. So it's like a top mouth guard with like a bottom mouth guard, but only in the back. And it's cool.
But that sucked. He had to give me Novocaine in my tongue. Ugh. He gave me the Novocaine. It like burned. It like swallowed most of it. You know what I mean? Ugh. And then he started stitching me, and I fucking felt it. I didn't feel like Novocaine didn't work. I'm like, ah. He's like, I'll stick you with more Novocaine. I'm like, dude, why? It's a stick too. Yeah. Like, just give me the fucking. I'm like, just stick me, dude.
Healed totally fine. No scar.
Yeah, just scar.
See that again? That was. Yeah, let me get a picture of that. Hang on.
I think I got a little scar there.
So what is the
I feel
deal?
like I talk a little fucked up too still.
If you're in a fight, right? Fight's going on, you're engaged, you get rocked, mouthpiece goes flying out. The refs don't always stop the fight right then.
No,
usually they grab it, pick it up.
It has to be a stop in
a pause in the action,
pause in the action.
where they find it necessary that they can be like time where
no one's gonna lose a position or gain a position.
Right.
Like that.
Right.
Like sometimes who was it recently? It was on the UK card. I forget. It was Ilya Topuria. Did you see him?
No, shit.
He's fucking good.
Yeah, I heard.
He's the 45 pounder.
He's the guy that went after Patty Pimblett.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
Patty Pimblett.
Whatever.
Yeah, Patty the Batty.
Patty the Batty.
He was like, I want that blonde bitch.
Wait, he's a 45er?
He went up to 55 for short notice to fight some like colossus who was like 6'1", and the dude floors him with a head kick, rocks the shit out of him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like dropped him bad.
Wow.
And Topuria is like on the back foot trying to fight, and then like this guy had a good game plan. Like anytime Topuria like level changed to throw big bombs, this dude was firing everything up the middle, and he like knees his mouth guard flying out of his mouth, and he's like, but he's going after him so bad that the ref like can't find a spot to get in with the mouth guard, and then finally they might have had like a split second to be like time, and he just jammed it back in his mouth, and like because they used to use it as an opportunity where you'd like wash the mouth guard off and you get a time.
Yeah.
And but like refs are becoming a little more savvy. They're like, you're a fucking fighter. You don't care if there's like dirt on the ground. Just put it in your fucking mouth and fight. But he knocked and then he regained his composure, and then he hit one of the nastiest fucking overhand right knockouts I've ever seen. He went jab, and then he went overhand and missed, then hit a nasty liver shot with the left body hook, and then came over the top with the overhand and just slumped this guy. One shot. But he set it up beautifully with the body shot. And then he called out Patty, and then when Patty won, Patty instead, he's like, you know, because he threw like hand sanitizer at him or some shit in the week.
I heard like they had the beef in the beginning.
And then he was like, yeah, they missed the hand sanitizer, but fuck Mark Zuckerberg. He went and called out Mark Zuckerberg instead.
Why?
Because
he
gets banned, right?
Yeah, he gets banned. He's like, Mark Zuckerberg, I want to punch you in your head, lad.
What is
stealing me Twitter?
What is your guys' take on Patty? I mean, just from what I've seen, I mean, he's a hype train, obviously.
Yeah.
Talks the talk. He's, you know, maybe some similarities to Conor, but he definitely's gotten rocked a bunch. He's never been put away, but he leaves himself open.
His chin's in the air quite a bit.
I think he deserves to get paid a lot more than what he's getting paid.
Yeah, it's 12, but he signed with
he signed an illustrious $12,000 to show.
$12,000
to win.
Didn't he sign with Barstool?
I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
But regardless of that, let's talk about.
He's making money at least.
Yeah, but he deserves to be making money from the organization that he's fighting for, that he's selling out arenas in.
So he got paid 12 to show, 12 to win.
Listen,
did he get a fight bonus? So he got 50 for a fight.
But who's he fighting though?
He's not fighting anybody of note in terms of like top 15. But
I
also,
get it. He's bringing in. He's the mouthpiece. He's gonna listen. He's gonna make a lot of money in his career. Will he be a champion? I don't know.
Right.
But he will make a lot of money in his career.
I mean, listen, I'm not a fighter, but just from my analysis, he leaves his chin out there a lot. He's eating them so far. He's eating them. He's gotten caught in a lot of his fights.
He's lost fights regionally where he's gotten dropped and lost decisions and shit like that. Yeah, he's definitely got some holes in his game that he needs to fix. But he's definitely solid. He's definitely well-rounded, but he definitely has flaws that'll be exposed. But when you say he hasn't fought anybody, I'm like, that's fine.
I said has he? I don't, you know.
No, he hasn't fought anybody. Anybody real, like a real like name. You know what I mean? If you said name the two guys he fought, I'm like, no, I don't fucking know.
I don't either.
But my point is that you're like, well, then he doesn't deserve to get paid as much, and I'm like,
I'm not saying. I'm just. It
should be a direct.
You're saying because he brings in the
in.
fans.
Right.
Yeah. You're saying
That's
but
what
how can they gauge
said.
that though? You can't. How do they gauge that? That whole card was London people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to gauge that. I do agree. I do think he does bring in fans. He's got, like, you know, he got a big following.
I just think fighters in general should just get paid more.
Oh, of course, bro. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
You're right, though. I didn't think about it like that because Ronda Rousey, of course, is the one famous for her interview where she said, what I bring to the table, I bring a lot to the table. A lot of people. How do you gauge that? If she's on a fight card, and let's just say she's headlining it, and it's a huge pay-per-view, but there's other well-known.
If you're headlining it, you're the guy,
right,
or the girl.
But it's also like,
yeah.
It's also like the UFC has done such a good job of building like, and that's what you're kind of saying is that the fighters can kind of split apart the popularity on the card because they've done such a good job of promoting undercards.
That's their model, right?
Yeah, but their undercards are hugely popular.
Yeah, they're
you know
great,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like
some of the best fights are on the undercards. Man.
Do you remember who was on the Mayweather Pacquiao undercard?
Fuck no.
Yeah, me neither. That's the point. The UFC has done such a good job of building up everyone on the undercard. In my opinion, the undercard guy should be getting paid a lot more. Like, if I had it my way, I don't know. Like, I'm not the president, but I would just be like, I would want, like, the starting rate to be like 50 grand flat for everybody. Because you're now in the MLB of MMA. Yeah. You're now in the major leagues. So, and that's not even a crazy amount of money, but, like, guys on the sidelines of, like, NFL get paid, like, 500 grand a year just to sit on the bench. They might never snap a football or some shit.
Yeah, and the amount of time and
We
investment you guys put in to get there.
Yeah.
You're fighting at the highest level now. You're in the UFC. Let's just use Patty for an example. He got paid 12. I don't know. Did he get a fight bonus?
Yeah,
he
got 50 grand.
Okay, so he
12
got
and 12, and then
so he got $74,000.
But I mean, it's kind of crazy when your fight bonus is more than your
right. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So.
Right.
And I mean, it's hard to live on your own when you're only making. Well, how many fights did Patty? How many fights can you potentially fight in a year?
You get three. You get three or four.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, if you're not willing to model your entire life around fighting, it's difficult to make a living off it if you never make it to the big leagues.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because in the big leagues, it's like guys are still making 10 grand and 10 grand and then have to cut out 30% or 40% of taxes.
I mean, listen, I'm not, you're right. Everyone deserves more money, but everybody that's done it before them kind of went through that fucking path, too.
Right.
I was 3-3 my first fucking fight.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. My first pro fight, I got fucking.
Wait, your
12
fight
and 12.
against Tyson was 3-3?
3-3.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I got $20,000. I fight in night bonus, $20,000 bonus.
Wow. Is that when you went out and bought the Beamer?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I watched that fight
That was an
in my
amazing
friend's
fight.
basement. And because it was Tyson Griffin, then we were like, oh, this guy Frankie, Jersey, woo,
Bro, when he
And
had
then
him
that
in
was
that,
my first
when
time
he had
ever
him in the
knowing
knee
you
bar,
existed.
Wow.
and they had that deep knee bar on him
we
at the end of
all-
the round, I was like, oh, don't fucking tap. Don't
We
tap.
were all
I was
screaming.
expecting to see that leg go pop, but I was.
Yeah.
It did.
It did it? You heard it?
It popped, yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Couple
Dude.
times.
It's just crazy to me, though, because I watched Frankie fight in that fight in high school, and then a couple years later, you're punching me in the face in practice, and then a couple years later, I'm like, yo, kick him in the face in practice. So
That's crazy.
it's like crazy how like we've come full circle.
Yeah.
And then like it's cool because like earlier in that day, there were like coaches that were snake oil salesmen.
Oh,
they
my
would
God.
write bullshit on websites, and it would be
yeah.
like, oh, I'm a 20-time MMA champion or a
Because you could get away with shit like
right.
that.
You could get away with it. Now
Speaking
it's like
of
show
that-
me the video.
Speaking of that, whatever happened to that coach that Diego was it a manager or was it a coach?
Coach,
That
yeah.
Diego Sanchez had. Is that
He
guy
got
still
rid of
around?
him. No, he got
Coach,
rid of him.
manager,
Finally, right?
lover.
I don't know what was
I don't
going
know
on
what
there.
was
but
going on with that
was
guy.
that guy
rid
the
of-
was
he got
that guy
rid of
the
him.
worst coach ever?
He
Bro,
was-
what a fucking clown, bro.
Yeah, he was a fucking goofball. I forget what his name was, but
Talking about a snake oil salesman, that guy seemed like
yeah.
one.
But it was cool though. I feel like I take personal pride in working with you because you saw me build myself up from the ground up. So like I'm homegrown talent. You know what I mean? Like everything that I've shown you, I like practiced it in the gym and made sure it works. You know what I mean? Which is I feel like what separates me from another coach. Where like they're like, we'll do this, and it's like, okay, why am I doing that? It's like I go out there and I'm in the trenches with you guys day in, day out. So
Well, that's what I think. Wrestling is especially, and I think MMA too.
Yeah.
Or like other coaches, like baseball, basketball, football. Like you don't even have to be good at any of those sports to be a good coach. But wrestling, I mean, you look at the best coaches in wrestling: John Smith, Cael Sanderson. They're fucking best wrestlers too.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know,
Kerry
and MMA too. I mean, like I look at Ricardo, man. He's a fucking accomplished grappler, accomplished fighter. Mark
Yeah.
Henry was a fucking Golden Gloves European box champion. You've been fighting for how long? You know what I mean? Like, I think I don't know. It's just good when the person has done and accomplished things.
Yeah.
I think as a fighter, you take them more seriously.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like I've seen fighters work with coaches that their coach like is they're doing things and taking fights for their fighter because it's like, oh, I want to go travel here and go on vacation.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
when I coach somebody, I'm like, my focus is on making sure you win your fucking fight. I don't care if it's next door. I don't care if it's across the country. We do whatever we got to do. to make sure you win your fight. And fighters notice when your coaches are invested into your career. Like Mark Henry is obsessed with your career and obsessed with how you perform, which is why you've performed so well for so long, because the passion that Mark Henry has for your training has never diminished. I've never seen him unenthusiastic about training you for a fucking second.
Well, you got to throw Steve Rivera's name in there, too. I've never seen a guy that's more passionate about Frankie's career than Steve Rivera.
Is Steve Rivera, is he consuming adrenochrome? That man does not age.
He does
What's
not
up
age,
with him?
bro. He does not
Is he on the
age.
Botox train? What the
I don't
fuck?
know, but he does not age.
He's strong as an ox.
He just trained.
He looks like he's got skin that, like, just
that
will never age.
Puerto Rock skin. You get that Puerto Rock skin.
He's made the majority of your fights, right? Been there.
He's been every single one.
Every
Never
one.
missed
Crazy.
one.
Oh, he's never missed one. Damn, bro. That's crazy.
Mark Lee, too.
Mark Lee, too. And Mark Lee's a full-time fireman.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always wanted to see Mark. Like, did he even get an amateur fight under his belt? He did boxing.
He
I
did
know.
box, bro. He
Smoked the guy, right?
He
Piece
did,
some people
man.
up,
I
right?
always
did.
thought he should just, listen, he went the safer route. He's got the career that, obviously his dad has. I'm sure he's doing really well, but I just kind of always wanted to see that guy try his hand at it and see how he did,
Yeah. I coached at St. Peter's.
What's that?
He coaches wrestling now.
Oh, does he? Okay, cool.
Did I tell you Steve Rivera was the one that introduced me to start training Mark Gray?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he texted me and he was like, "Hey, I want you to start working with this wrestler, Mark Gray. He's like wants to transition to MMA." And I was like, "I don't want to fucking work with another wrestler, like another guy that's like brand new that I don't feel like training with." And I mean, in the past year and a half, how good has Mark Gray gotten?
He's a stud, man.
Yeah, and like it was cool because when we first started training, he's like, "I'll show you wrestling, you show me striking," and we were like, "Deal." And like we've clicked ever since.
Yeah.
And
No,
like,
I like that kid a lot, man. And I mean, dude, you're a wrestler and you want to be good, bro. We got a good damn formula, man. I tell you, we can get it done. As long as you're willing. Not everyone's like Mark, though.
Right.
That dude puts the fucking work in. That's why. Like I go there. I grab that dude every chance I get.
Yeah.
He's fucking in there trying to get better, and I know he's a stud wrestler. That's the guy I'm looking for. Yeah. You know what I mean? And all these young guys should be looking for that motherfucker too.
What's his weight class?
45,
45.
Yeah.
in his last amateur fight, it was 3 3-minute rounds. He took that kid down like 13 fucking times.
Yeah.
And then that's on like a Saturday. And then on Monday, he's like, "We training?" I was
Yeah.
like, "Fuck yeah, dude, we're training." So, and then we just keep it
He's a
rolling.
goer.
Yeah. He's thrown me on my head so bad at Ricardo's. And Ricardo at one point just straight up busted out laughing. I bear hugged Mark and I was like, I'm gonna launch him to the fucking ceiling. And he clamps double over,
dude.
steps behind me, and then gives me just a fucking rainbow arc across the room. And it's dead silent. You hear whoomph, and Ricardo just goes, oh.
Kid states. I know Mark, was a very successful youth wrestler. I said, how many kid state titles did you win? How many, said?
How many?
All of them. K through 8 was state
That's a great answer, man.
Just
All of
every
them.
single year.
Every
Just
single
champ.
one.
Yeah, and he was the first 4-time Beast of East champ.
Correct, yeah.
Fucking
4-time national prep champion, stud.
Yeah.
But there's contrast in fighting. It doesn't always happen that way.
Right.
No.
Corey, we talk about him all the time. Never won one until he was like a junior or something, and he's a fucking savage, bro.
Yeah.
And then,
it is. It's the work ethic, man. That's what it is. Both of them. That's why they're both. Whatever. He was successful when he was young. He wasn't. But they both had that same trajectory of work ethic,
Yeah.
and they both ended up on top.
And he also and then there's other like X factors you don't factor into it. Like Mark was injured his entire college career. That's why he never placed in the NCAAs. And right, I don't think he placed.
He's probably
He was
blood round, stuff like that.
something like that. Yeah, but like he was never All American.
Yeah, no, but yeah, it's tough.
But when you watch him go in the room against returning NCAA champs, he gives them all they can handle and more.
Oh yeah.
So it's like that doesn't, and like you never hear about him otherwise because he fizzled out in college. You know what I mean? It's like, well, he had like a fucked up back and a neck, and then he took time to recover.
Sometimes it happens that way.
Yeah, and now
George St. Pierre is a guy that didn't wrestle at all, right?
Right. Same with Sean Brady. Never wrestled.
Really?
I've watched him blast double people across the room.
Really? I didn't know
He's
that.
like another George, bro.
He out wrestles people like just so.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I would have thought Brady.
It's
for
crazy
sure.
how good he got, how quickly he got. Never stepped on a wrestling mat in high school.
Really?
None of that.
Dude, again, that's work ethic. That's what it comes down to, man. You want something,
he's
you
a
can
grinder.
fucking get after and,
Yeah.
and make it happen.
Yeah. But I mean, he just has a gift for a blast double.
Dude, no, I don't believe the gift, man. He worked for that shit.
Yeah, that's
You know?
true. But I mean, like certain like
You don't
what
think-
what takedown for you just clicked.
Some people are more gifted than maybe gifted is the wrong word. You don't think like a like a BJ Penn with his flexibility. Like he was fucking born that way, bro. He's got like rubber bands.
Right,
for
right.
fucking-
But that flexibility, in order to have that flexibility, he probably gave up strength. You know what I mean? He wasn't as strong as some of those guys. You know what I mean? There's always give and take.
Yeah, I guess
He made he made his body work. Like I had a teammate in college that wasn't the most athletic dude, a little strange, but this dude was fucking an All-American because he found a way to be good.
Right.
Like he found a way to make his style be good because he was so competitive.
Right.
That's what it comes down to.
Right.
I hated BJ.
Hiding weaknesses, right? Isn't that part of it? You hide your weaknesses.
Well, that too, yeah, for sure. Because that's the way to go is exploit people's weaknesses in fights.
I didn't like BJ Penn. I just thought he was the epitome of talent not working hard.
Yeah.
So when you beat him,
Oh wait,
I
his
was
whole
like,
career, or his early days. You don't think he worked hard in his early days?
No,
Him and Matt
that's-
Hughes.
I mean, but this is like me
I
looking.
think
from,
later in his career,
Yeah,
to
I'm
me,
just
he
saying
looked a little
looking at
lazy.
it from the outside as me from an outsider because you don't know somebody until you get in their camp. You know what I mean? Until you get to train with them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, but like from what I saw as like a high school or a college kid, I'm like, this guy doesn't work hard. And then like in the pre-fight, where like Frankie's saying I trained so hard, and BJ Penn saying, oh yeah, well I rested really hard. I'm like, I hope you lose for that, you fucking loser. And then he did, and I was
Is
like,
the rumor true about him? I got nothing but respect for BJ. I like him. I know you guys are friends, but was he a rich kid? Did he grow up like his family? Someone told me his family owns like a avocado
rich kid in
ranch or
Hawaii or
something.
whatever?
Someone told me that. I don't know if that's true. Is
Did
that
he come
true?
from
I think
money?
his family owns a lot of land. Yeah,
Yeah, something like
I
that.
don't know if he's a rich kid, but
He's running for governor now, isn't he?
he is, man.
Good for him,
He
man.
is, yeah.
Good for
These
him.
corrupt politicians fucking throw BJ in the mix, baby.
I
Speaking
don't
of
think
that-
he'll get very far.
I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how realistic it is, but suppose he has a big following over there.
Yeah.
The guy there is a clown.
It
I
just
felt
seems
they,
like-
they still have the mask mandates in
Oh my
Hawaii.
God.
You know what I
Fuck's
mean?
sake. It just seems like in politics it's a secret club, and if you're not in it, you're not invited, and you're not going to get
No,
in.
yeah, it's
like
true.
I was big on Andrew Yang, partly because I liked the idea of the universal basic income,
I don't know about that.
and
though.
partially because he was Asian. Let me finish. I was like, oh yeah, I want to see Asian.
I liked
guy.
him. I liked him. He's a big anime fan.
You hairless people stick together.
Yeah.
He's a big anime fan.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's definitely, and I think his kids train jujitsu, so I was like, I definitely want to vote.
I
for
think
this
him
guy.
as a person, he seemed all right, honestly.
And I
he
listened
seemed like he was in
to,
it for the right reasons. But the whole universe, I just don't know how does that work. Like there's no such thing as free money. That's the fucking
Right.
problem. You
But
know what I
also,
mean?
it's like, what the fuck is our government doing with our money now?
Right.
You know
Oh,
what I mean?
yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like there's more than enough money to throw out there if you're going to put
But
it
look
into
what happened.
the
But look what happened. They threw money out there, and now the inflation is through the fucking roof.
right. But I just feel like there's a better way to allocate those funds to.
I'm
distribute
sure
to the
there
people.
might be. There might be.
you-
And his real quick. And that dude Andrew Yang, the reason he was talking about basic universal income because he thinks AI is going to take over. Like you're not going to have a job when they have automated trucks. You know what I mean?
And that's
so
who he wants to
that's-
tax.
Then so he tax those people
He
to
wants-
give you money. You know what
Like,
I mean?
doesn't
Part of
it-
that, like when New York made that big push for minimum wage to be $15 an hour, the counter argument to that was McDonald's is just going to automate everything.
I know.
They're literally just going to make
That's what they
everything
did, yeah.
robotic.
And that's what they did.
So you're cutting your nose off to spite your face.
Right,
Now you're sitting home, no job.
Yeah, I definitely think there's a way that our government should be distributing some sort of funds to people, but I don't think that. I just feel like it's.
No, I disagree. I think if the politics was just honest and we kept money in-house, meaning in our country, and spend it on the things it should be spent on, there's more than enough. Taxes would go down, if anything.
Yeah.
These politicians write these bills and these spending bills, and they spend money on shit who voted for it?
Right.
Who voted to send $3 billion over to Pakistan for transgender studies or something?
Yeah.
Like, who voted for that? Nobody did.
And they fit that. Like, I
They
don't get
cram it
crazy.
in bills.
I don't get crazy, but they cram it in these bills. We have no idea. Everything they're doing seems like they're trying to undermine us.
Right,
That's what I feel
exactly.
like.
The last straw for me was Congress is full of Democrats and Republicans, right?
Yeah.
So Congress just passed a bill for. So I forget what they put into the spending bill, but they also gave themselves like a $20 billion raise.
And they all voted yes for it.
Oh
right?
yeah, they all voted yes.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, none of us can afford, like, not us, but like a lot of people out there are struggling to make ends meet,
So-
paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
So I was like, if you are heavy Democrat or heavy Republican, you're missing the forest for the trees.
If you added up
It's rich versus poor.
what Nancy Pelosi makes, right? If you added it up all the years she's been in politics, 40 plus years or whatever, like it does not match the money that she has in her accounts and the homes that she's buying. Where does that money come from?
Yeah, she's
I'll
Where's
tell you
that
what,
money
I'll tell you what,
coming
I just
from?
seen the things recently. They said she just invested $2 million. She's bought $2 million worth of Tesla. Tesla's went up 8% yesterday.
Yeah.
Right before she bought it.
Right.
Like, does she know these things?
How convenient.
Why is that
You know
not
what I mean?
investigated?
I don't know.
Why?
Well, because she's too high up in it.
It's
like,
crazy.
yeah.
Bro, she's crazy looking, bro.
Yeah.
Right? The way she talks and shit. Oh,
Most
what
of
the
these-
fuck?
dude, most of these
how is she
politicians-
alive?
Looks like she's drunk most of the time.
Most
She
of these
looks-
politicians, they look like Batman villains. Like,
Yes,
they're like weird.
bro. Yes, I was saying that the other day.
Yeah.
100%. They're fucking They look like Batman villains right now.
They're all ghouls.
Fucking Gotham's. It's the world is run by Gotham. You know what I mean?
How do they stay in politics for so long? 40 plus years. The guy that's in charge now was a senator for 40 something years.
Yeah.
Like, how did they stay in politics? So there's got to be term limits.
Yeah,
there has to be.
yeah,
There
but-
has to be.
They probably just keep it in house. They're
Right.
like, we're gonna groom our next corrupt politician to become the next corrupt politician or whatever.
But are people actually voting for them, or is it all staged
Fuck
and
no.
rigged?
I
don't think so.
I wouldn't be surprised if your vote doesn't matter for shit.
Yeah.
Well, that's scary then, man.
Yeah.
That's fucking scary if
Because
that's the case.
it's the idea of it's like the illusion of freedom as opposed to like and the illusion of like the people have a say.
But then it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And then what's the outcome? I think in every civilization, it has happened since time began. But there's going to be an uprising, right? There's going to be an overthrow at some point. Probably,
Yeah.
maybe not in my lifetime, but it's
Let's
going to
hope
fucking
not.
happen.
It seems like
Gonna
it's
fucking happen.
It seems like it's boiling over. It's getting to a point where people
Right.
are fucking fed up. I thought that with that January 6th stuff, the insurrection at the state capitol, I was like, here we fucking go. I
How
was like,
crazy is it what they're doing to these people? First of all, even in the pictures, they're staying within the red velvet ropes.
I
You know what I
know.
mean? They were encouraged to come inside by
they littered
by-
water bottles and
by
shit.
the by the Capitol Police, right?
I
It's
didn't-
on camera, it's on
Yeah.
film. They really didn't do
And they're
anything,
still-
and they are treated like fucking pariahs, like they
they
were
blew up
treasonous.
9/11.
It's insane, bro. What's going on? I'm not saying it was right. I'm not saying they should have gone. I'm not defending that, but I'm saying they can't even get a trial date. They sit in jail and rot for
Yeah.
walking into a Capitol building and taking a couple selfies.
Yeah.
How fucking crazy is that? That gives you an idea of how nervous these people are that there might be an overthrow. They're like,
Right.
we better
From-
make
from-
we
yeah,
better
yeah,
make
make
a fucking
example.
example
Yeah,
out of these
yeah.
guys. You know?
from the other side though, I did remember watching someone just get fucking shot in the face.
No, yeah, but
in
that
that,
was
like-
Capitol Police shooting the
Shot
the
some
woman.
in
What's
the
her
face.
name? I
was
forget
like,
her.
damn.
Killed her?
Ashley Babbitt.
Ashley
killed-
Babbitt.
killed her,
Yeah.
She, like
Yep.
smashed a window. They're like, boom, straight.
No,
to
no,
the
she
face.
didn't smash a window.
Oh no.
She was just banging on those. She didn't break
But
it, right?
not for nothing, honestly, those people, like, you're dumb.
Yeah.
You're fucking dumb. You're breaking in that place, like, there are cops there, and you know what the fuck they're going to do.
Okay,
You
listen,
know?
I'm not going to argue with you because I'm not encouraging that. I'm not saying that was the right thing to do. But there is video of Capitol Police
Right,
saying,
right.
"Come in."
I
If
don't-
You,
I'm
if you
just
were
still-
if you were
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to make a statement,
Yeah.
and the
Would you
the
have walked in if
authority-
you were there?
I don't know. I'd like to think no, but if a Capitol Police officer is saying, "Come on in," and they're moving barriers out of the way and shit, and I'm trying to make a
We
statement.
got drinks in here.
I'm trying to make a statement.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm glad I wasn't there, but maybe.
This is one of my guilty pleasures.
I'm
Like,
not a follower.
discussing. I love discussing things. I'm not very well.
Are they
informed on.
followers or are they leaders?
Depends where they were in a pack, I guess.
No, but I'm saying, are they leaders? Standing
Half the
for
people
what
that
they
I'm just
believe?
saying, half those people
There
that
has to
walked,
be somebody.
bet you more than half those people that walked in that thing walked in because everyone else walked in. They wouldn't have been the first people to walk in.
No,
you know what
sure,
I mean?
but that's every,
Or maybe
that's
not-
every
or-
situation.
Yeah, maybe no one would have walked in if the guys didn't say, "Come on in."
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
I liked the guy who had the orange hair who was holding the podium. He looked like Carrot Top.
yeah,
He's like,
yeah,
hey,
yeah,
look at me.
yeah.
He's like my favorite insurrectionist out of that.
Yeah,
group.
that was like he thought he was having fun.
Yeah.
So what the way the left talks about those people, it is like they tried to assassinate the president. It's crazy. It's absolutely fucking crazy.
Yeah.
They
But
were
like-
trying to make a statement. They were trying to show their anger for what's going on, their point of view, and they were encouraged to come in. You know, like it's insane.
Well, like I said, left or right, both members of the bird are giving themselves $20 billion raises in Congress. So I'm like,
No,
you
I'm
can
saying-
point one way or the other. I think they're all
No.
pieces
I
of
would
shit.
never
Yeah.
say there's not corruption on both sides. I would never say that.
Of
ever.
course.
There is for sure, but let's weed them all out.
Come
I
on.
feel like remember Goodfellas? Now I got to turn my back on you. I'm like, fuck. I'm
Wow, that sucks.
like, yeah, it sucks. I thought he was. I thought
I
that
loved what he stood for. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either that or it's a conspiracy theory and they framed him.
Yeah, I do it for real.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised.
And that's what I'm saying. And that's, I mean, this is, of course, playing devil's advocate, assuming he didn't actually drunk drive.
Yeah.
And
listen,
like, how easy would it be to pin that on him to just say you were drunk driving? That destroys his campaign.
Yeah, you're right.
There's going to be a big PR push to,
Right.
like, you know. So this is a campaign spokesman, obviously, on his side. But Steve Kush said Smith's truck swerved in high winds and that he passed a field sobriety test. The cop wasn't satisfied and put cuffs on him, Kush said. Ian will have his day in court. Everyone will find out he wasn't drunk driving.
Oh.
So he didn't technically blow a breathalyzer and get it.
He's been charged with it.
He's been charged with it, but they usually do a blood draw.
I was going to say
happens.
this.
So maybe he didn't even drink at all.
Yeah.
And they
if
were just
that's-
saying you're drunk.
I was just about to say, like, this is rather a convenient time for him to get popped with the DUI.
I take it
And
back,
I mean,
man. Ian Smith, I love you.
you said it already, motherfucker.
Yeah. But I was just going to say, it seems rather convenient because he seems to be getting a
They're
lot
pu-
of
they-
momentum
of
for
course.
Congress. They're like,
Yeah.
we got to bury this motherfucker.
Yeah.
We got to
They-
bury him somehow. You know what I mean?
They, of course, put his history in here, of course.
Yeah.
You knew that
And then
was in
also,
there.
I find it rather convenient that who's the first person to report it? NewJersey.com. You know what I
Well.
mean? Like, but if that's, you know, if he's running for Congress
It's
and he's
just,
from
listen,
New Jersey,
yeah.
it just seems convenient. It seems
Guilty
convenient.
or not guilty, we don't know. None of us go.
Right.
I believe in justice and letting
Right.
the court system play out and see what actually happens, but not good timing.
Yeah,
at
that's
all.
what I'm saying.
Not good timing.
And guilty or not guilty, that already shut down.
That happened
a large-
today or yesterday?
Sunday, 2 days ago.
Oh, 2 days ago. Where was I Sunday? It was windy Sunday, right?
It was Windy Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, the story dropped yesterday from what I'm reading.
Right.
But
So he didn't actually blow, but I would be surprised that there wasn't something in there about, you know, results pending a blood draw, because usually that's what they do.
They
you
do
know?
blood draw or
If
they
you
blow?
if you refuse to blow, they take you.
Do you think he refused
They
to
get
blow?
a court order to draw your blood. They have to get a court
but-
order.
have you ever had that problem, Roger?
No, but
Refusing to blow?
Never.
I had to get one in.
Yeah, see.
No,
now,
but like-
now,
Same.
now both of them are.
But would you refuse to blow if you were not drinking?
I don't know if I
It ma-
wasn't. Drinking,
I could see him because he's like, "Fuck you, I'm
yeah,
not blowing."
he
You know, what I mean? I
doesn't
could
trust.
see.
He doesn't trust the government.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
right,
He doesn't
yeah,
trust the
yeah.
government at all. So, I mean, maybe in his case, for me, probably. If I knew I wasn't drinking, and listen, again, I'm not going to say that I've never drank and drove, but I fucking rarely ever drink and drive. Because I drive for a living, I don't want to. You know, I just don't want to risk it. But if I knew I wasn't, I would probably say. I don't think they would ask if I wasn't, because I think I could easily, you know, converse that, hey, I haven't been drinking. Why would they not believe me? You know what I mean? But
Unless they're out to get him. Was it a state cop?
right,
Was
I
it?
could
you know?
see where he wouldn't because of his
Yeah.
mistrust for authority.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, look what they've done.
I
to
also
that guy.
just feel like he's got to be smarter than that. I
would
just
think,
feel like
right? Especially,
Where the hell was he coming from? On
he's
a
got a
Sunday
fucking
morning?
target on his back.
right. Like he's probably like, I'm not gonna fucking drink right now.
Or what if it was early in the morning? He was slept and he got up and he's, you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well, I guess that's why he's not texting me back.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out the details as the thing goes on.
He's not going to use his one call for you.
I didn't know
Raj.
that. He's probably like, oh, this guy wants the inside scoop. I didn't even know it until after I texted him. That's crazy. Well, listen, man. Again, let's let the facts come out. You know, who
Yeah.
knows what happened?
Innocent until proven guilty. Is that what we're supposed to do? Right in America,
right.
you're
Supposed
innocent.
to.
You're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty.
That's right.
But it seems like a lot of times the hammer's already brought down as soon as it's announced.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
So, and I feel like that can be weaponized.
Oh, for sure.
People that hate him.
Yeah.
And they're going to make the biggest deal out of this
Yeah.
because of his history. You know what I mean? So,
And again, I'm not justifying. He killed somebody at drunk driving. It's terrible. But
He was on this
He-
couch
he
and he
would be
spoke
the
about
first
it.
one
And
to
he,
tell
you
you
know,
that,
he-
yeah.
you know, he
I listened
obviously-
to it. I listened to it. Like again, I'm sure he would love
wait a
to.
minute. You're one of the 17 listeners we had? So wait.
I am a fan of this podcast. But yeah, it's a shitty situation.
Yeah, it sucks, man.
Yeah.
What do you think, man? You want to wrap up? Only because I gotta go pee and come back in.
Yeah, that's
I'm
good, man.
dying.
We got a
Yeah.
good go. We had a good go.
Thanks for having me. I'll
Yeah,
be
of
sure to
course.
bring up some more fun UFC corner stories next time.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Do it again. Definitely.
So, if people want to find you, what's your Instagram?
Everything's at Ryan Cafaro MMA.
Okay.
He's got an
I
fans
do.
only.
I have an
Fans
OnlyFans
only?
now.
Oh, OnlyFans.
Woo!
Yeah, nothing scandalous.
Hairless bodies.
Yeah.
Do you,
Oh,
you're
but
you're joking, right?
I am not.
So you got the same thing that Diego Sanchez had.
Yeah.
Diego Sanchez had an OnlyFans.
All right, so here
His
we go.
son's is hairless hiney hole.
OnlyFans approached me and asked me to make an account, and they offered some financial compensation and partnership.
Is there money in it?
Yes.
You're not posting pictures of your butthole. Is there money in it?
No. I'm saying they have money. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
They have a lot of money, and they're trying to rebrand and make their, make their.
So what
Didn't
is
it
it?
start out as
Is it you coaching and
No,
stuff?
no. Listen, it started out supposedly like a cameo kind of, right?
Right. It
That's
started
what
out
fans
like a
only started-
Patreon sort of thing.
Yeah, like where you can get really close to a celebrity.
Right.
Right.
You could.
Then it turned into fucking
So this way,
No, I
yeah.
get it, but, so
but they're still gonna go. They're rebranding, but I heard we're gonna get rid of all the nudity, and they said, "Fuck it, we're gonna
it's
still
too
do
much
nudity."
money. Way
Right.
too
Yeah.
much money.
I,
So what could people, if they got on your OnlyFans, what can they find for content on there?
I post some behind the scenes
He'll
stuff.
send
of me,
he'll send some of his clipped pubes to you.
That's very funny. I don't grow pubes. Anyways. Nah, but coaching videos, technique instructionals, things that I do on a day-to-day basis. This is what I eat. This is how I stay healthy. This is how I'm rehabbing my blown out ACL, all this other bullshit.
gotcha.
So, just if you want a more in-depth look, and if you're one of my fans, then you can come on my OnlyFans to find out more.
I gotta look into. Have them reach out to me, Ryan.
Yeah, I'll hit him up. I'll see. That'll go well. So I'll be like, the guy Frankie's always making all these homoerotic jokes about?
He'll post pictures of his butthole.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, jeez,
Spread him.
it's like his mouth.
All right, man.
Did you know, real quick, it's a little
Go
fun
ahead, go
fact.
ahead.
We said it already.
Go ahead.
No,
Go
all
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
But
They say
Hit that joke twice.
No, it's not a joke.
The skin on your lips is the same as the skin on your butthole.
yeah.
Yeah, you told me that.
Is that true?
I don't. How would I know if it's true? I don't know.
Could you do this? It looks a lot alike.
So if someone kisses me on my lips and kisses me on my asshole, I'm going to have the same lightning sensation?
Yeah, yeah, same thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
sign me
You
up.
won't know the difference.
He is
You won't know if
Korean.
you're-
He
you
is the Korean thunder.
You won't know if you're asshole to asshole with the person or if someone's kissing your asshole. You won't know the
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah, I was going to say, if people did press their buttholes, would that feel like a kiss?
I don't
know. But anyways, on that note, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good times.
Ryan.
Good times.
What a great ending.
You got to sign the board, brother, before
Yeah,
you leave.
yeah.
Yes, please.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah,
All right,
thank
guys.
you.